On day 1, I spawned into the Badlands as a devil dragon! A devil dragon in the Badlands? This is so rad that I don't even mind that I'm a baby! I feel like I should start a rock band or something! But before I could come up with a cool name for my new rock band, something huge and dark rose out of the ground in front of me. It was an Endergast! Oh my goodness! I've never seen anything like you before!
Welcome to my domain, Devil Dragon. I am Lord Endergast, the most powerful being in the overworld.
Wow! It's an honor to meet you, your lordship. Is there anything I can do for you?
Yes, you can perish!
Lord Endergast blew a huge fireball at me, which I only narrowly dodged, destroying the summoning circle next to me. Why did you do that? I was so polite to you.
I don't admire politeness. I admire survival. That's why I'm playing the 100 Days game. And if you figure out how to play, you may just be able to survive this.
How can I play a game if I don't even know the rules? But he didn't answer me. He just breathed another fireball at me, and all I could do was turn and fly away. The 100 Days game? I guess I've gotta find out what it is if I want to survive. On day 2, I finally stopped after hours of flying through the Badlands, trying to escape the wrath of the nasty Lord Endergast. I can't afford to be reckless against a villain as powerful as him just yet. I only have 10 hearts. If a battle goes bad, I won't be able to survive. But my hearts weren't the only issue. My hunger meter was almost dangerously low. I needed to get my hands on some food soon, or I'd be in real trouble. I searched around the Badlands, which didn't have that much vegetation. I was so relieved when I happened upon a lone apple tree that I almost cried. Sweet, crunchy, delicious, apple-y goodness! Just what the doctor ordered. I knocked down the tree and started eating the apples that it dropped until I started hearing a rustling noise that sent a chill down my spine. I looked up and saw an ender creeper walking towards me.
Don't be a spoil sport, Devil Dragon. My lord and master wants to play a game with you, but you've got no hope of winning if you don't keep your wits about you.
But I don't want to play this game. Let's just talk, okay? And my name isn't Devil Dragon, it's Zozo. Boom! Before he could say anything else, he detonated, leaving a big hole in the ground and knocking out a huge number of my hearts. Oh no, I don't have any healing items. There's no way I could survive another attack like that. That's when my savior arrived. A fire guardian appeared in front of me. For a second, I was worried he'd attacked me, and then he spoke.
You are the Endergast's latest victim. It may feel hopeless, Devil Dragon, but with our help, it is not. Come with me!
So you're on my side?
If there are sides, yes. The only sides I see are the survivors and the condemned. Follow me!
And so I did! On day 3, I followed the fire guardian across the Badlands as night fell around us. It felt like the enemies coming after me could attack at any time.
What is your name, Devil Dragon?
I'm Zozo. I've only been here for 3 days. I don't understand why so many people are after me.
It's because that monstrous Endergast marked you. To be marked means that monsters and beasts will seek you out. They will hunt you, and they will try to destroy you.
But why? I didn't do anything.
Perhaps he senses potential in you. Potential for fun. It's all a game to him. But I know a being that might be able to help and advise you.
Oh yeah? Who's that?
The game's last survivor.
The fire guardian led me to a campfire where a soul blaze was waiting. He sent me over to speak to the supposed survivor of the Endergast's game.
So, you're the new one he picked. My commiserations. You're in for a horrific 100 days.
But why? What exactly is the 100 Days game, and how did you survive it?
It's a grand hunt. Over 100 days, he'll send everything after you, every challenge and monster at his disposal, of which there are many. You will be pushed to the limit, and you will only have 2 choices, to hide or fight back.
I'll fight back! You can't hide from bullies like the Endergast. He'll never give up, so neither will I!
There may be hope for you yet. Make a base, find weapons, make allies, keep fighting, because if you don't, there'll be no hope for you at all.
He gave me a healing potion that I took for my ender creeper injuries and went off on my way. From day 4 to day 5, I started following the Soul Blaze's advice. With the Fire Guardian with me as my guide, I went further out into the Badlands to make myself a base.
Take these tools, Zozo. It will make your mission much easier. You can always make better ones later.
The Fire Guardian gave me a stone sword and a set of stone tools, which I used to start mining stone and cutting down trees. I soon had enough to start building myself a base. It was basic at first, just 2 rooms with some beds, one for me and one for the Fire Guardian. I hope these sheets are fireproof. Once the building was done, I stepped back to look at my hard work. It wasn't much, but it was mine, and I was proud of it. I didn't get to enjoy the moment forever though, as an ender blaze floated towards me, ready to attack. This really is a trial by ender fire. It wasn't easy, but with my stone sword, I was eventually able to defeat the ender blaze and destroy it. And when I did, I got enough XP to level up, getting bigger, stronger, gaining 30 hearts, and big, awesome dragon claws. Looks like I really am playing the game now. From day 6 to day 8, I was wandering through a new biome, the giant taiga, which was full of towering trees and lush greenery. A devil dragon looks kind of out of place here, but I still enjoy the scenery. I wonder if I can find anything out here that'll help me survive the 100 days and fight back against the Endergast. I was so lost in thought that I didn't notice an Enderman sneaking up on me. But when I noticed him, I immediately deployed my claws and started attacking him. He was a formidable foe, but my claws helped me gain victory in the end. That's right, I'd ended the Enderman.
That was amazing, kid.
Who's that? I turned and saw an evoker emerging from the tree line.
I've been hunting and tracking that Enderman for weeks, and you took him out just like that. It was amazing.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate the kind words. It's been kind of a rough week.
Tell you what, wanna come help me take out another monster? I'll make it worth your while.
Sure, it couldn't hurt. I mean, maybe it could, but I'm always happy to help. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the evoker through the giant taiga until we came upon a deeper, darker part of the forest. What exactly do you want me to take on out here, Mr. Evoker?
Truth be told, I need your help taking on a ghast.
Oh no, it isn't an Endergast, is it?
Endergast? No way. I've never even heard of that. This is just a regular ghast, but that doesn't mean it's not extremely dangerous.
Well then, I guess I'll make sure to proceed with caution. And even that caution didn't do me much good. The power of the ghast fireballs repelled me quickly. I had to escape just to survive, then went back to my new friend, the evoker, with my dragon tail between my legs.
It's okay, my friend. Don't beat yourself up. How about we write this one off and come back to take 'em on another day?
Thanks for your patience, Mr. Evoker. Say, why don't you come back and stay with me at my base? I really need some people on my side right now.
I'll never turn down a free room. Lead the way, Dragon Boy.
From day 11 to day 12, we made it back to my base, and I immediately started working on a room where the evoker could stay. It was super easy, and before long, he had a brand new place to stay right next to my room. When I was done, he came up to talk to me about something.
Hey there, Zozo. I really appreciate you making me a room, and I wanted to show my gratitude. I hope you don't mind, but while you were working, I took the liberty of making a few upgrades around the place. Come check them out.
I was super impressed. While I'd been busy, the evoker had set up a brand new storage room where I could keep all my gear and resources, as well as a furnace ready to craft some new equipment. That's so kind of you, evoker.
Ah, don't mention it. It's the least I could do. Anything else you need? Don't hesitate to ask.
Well, to tell the truth, I could use some advice. I need to survive the Endergast's 100-day-long hunt.
I don't know much about this Endergast fella, but I've been a hunter myself. Let me tell you, a bad hunter will try to make the whole world play by his rules, but a great hunter will know how to use the world around him to his advantage. See what I mean?
It was great advice, and I immediately started to act on it. I headed into a nearby cavern to seek out some iron ore and brought it back to my base. With the furnace, I turned the ore into iron ingots and then crafted a new iron pickaxe and matching sword for myself. The evoker was right. I could use the world around me to my advantage. That was how I could survive and beat the Endergast at his own game. In my search for more resources, I also made a few extra improvements to my base. I herded a flock of nearby sheep into the area and set up a nice spacious pen to keep them secure. Things looked to be on the up. From day 13 to day 15, I decided to ask my guide, the Fire Guardian, for some advice on growing stronger so I could survive the rest of the hunt.
Taking on the Endergast won't be easy, Zozo, but smaller challenges can prepare us for the larger ones ahead. I've heard some of his henchmen are stalking the giant taiga. If you're using the world around you, then use them to hone your fighting skills.
So, I set off on my new quest to take down some of the Endergast's minions. Reaching the giant taiga, I realized that this wasn't going to be as easy as I first thought, because I was outnumbered. A swarm of ender creepers were roaming around, and I'd already tangled with one of those nasty explosive mobs. But I remembered the advice from the evoker: use the world to my advantage. The giant taiga was filled with plenty of vegetation, which I could use as cover to sneak up and get the drop on them. I jumped from the trees and destroyed one on the spot.
Hey, where the heck did he come from?
With a swing of my sword, I dealt some damage, then ducked back behind the trees.
Hey, where the heck did he disappear to?
They searched for me, but only found defeat. When the last one remained, he puffed and boom! The ender creeper detonated. I emerged victorious, and one even dropped a handy item, a health potion. Drinking it, I suddenly got much stronger. I had now gone up to 60 hearts and even learned a new ability, a flame breath attack. Oh, now that's perfect for a devil dragon like me. Now I'm cooking with fire. From day 16 to day 19, I continued exploring the world and looking for some more of the Endergast henchmen to take down. I was feeling super confident about my chances after my victory and looking for my next big challenge. I stumbled into a new biome, the Crimson Forest. This place was crazy creepy. As I explored, I came across an old book that seemed to have been left by someone that the Endergast had marked before. If you are reading this, then beware. The one hunting you has no rules, no boundaries. He doesn't flinch at his adversaries. He fears nothing. That's why he does this. He hunts to feel alive and will do anything to catch his prey. Oh, I'd better watch out. The Endergast seems to have some real issues. I had been so distracted by reading the book that I almost didn't notice a familiar hissing sneaking up behind me.
There's the devil dragon that took out our buddies. Get this fool, boys.
More ender creepers! I was nearly caught off guard, but stood my ground and fought them off. That was a close one. Lucky I noticed them, or I could have been blown to smithereens. From day 20 to day 22, after my run-in with that last group of ender creepers, I decided it would be best to make sure I was better protected against oncoming damage. So I headed back to the mines and gathered up some more iron ore, turning it into ingots and then smelting those into a shiny new iron chestplate. With all this added armor, and still feeling confident after my recent wins, I thought it was about time I got some more experience and headed back to take care of that ghast that the evoker had been hunting when we met a few days earlier. This ought to be a good warm-up for taking on the Endergast. Sneaking up like I had done before, I gave the ghast a taste of his own medicine and hurled flames its way. I was able to deal a lot of damage, destroying it on the spot. But I didn't get to enjoy the victory for long.
Do you really think you'll be able to best me so easily?
It was the Endergast. Where had he come from?
You really ought to be more careful with how much attention you draw to yourself. I was once like you know. Weak, inexperienced. Do you think anyone made it easy for me? Of course not. I had to prove myself as the greatest hunter of all time. And I'm not about to let an upstart like you undermine me.
Before I had a chance to fight back, the Endergast released a barrage of fireballs. I knew I wasn't going to win this fight. I had no choice but to take cover and retreat to safety. From day 23 to day 26, I managed to make it back to my base, but was careful to make sure I wasn't followed. Lord Endergast had already tracked me down once. I needed to be careful he didn't discover where I'd set up my base. I tried not to feel too defeated. It was still early in the 100-day challenge, and I just needed to keep challenging myself to eventually beat him. Plus, I'd already bested that regular ghast, which the evoker was really impressed to hear about.
That's great. Good going, Dragon Boy. We'll make a world-class hunter out of you yet.
Speaking of which, I decided it was time to get in some more practice of using the world around me to improve my chances of survival. I went off for another jaunt into the mines and gathered up the last of the iron ore I could find. I had plenty to make enough ingots to craft myself an iron helmet and a pair of iron boots. I had a much better shot at resisting incoming attacks. Now I was covered in a full set of armor.
Looking good, Zozo. I had a similar idea. I've been working on protecting the base. Check out our brand new perimeter wall.
The place looked great. Now I would rest easy knowing the base would be defended even while I was away. Plus, it provided added safety so I could survive for the full 100 days. From day 27 to day 31, I decided it was about time I tried to challenge myself again. If I was gonna use my environments to my advantage, then I couldn't limit myself to just the more familiar biomes I had visited. So I headed back towards the Crimson Forest. It looked like this place would be fairly easy to hide in. There wasn't a lot of light, and plenty of trees I could hide behind. Still, I needed some practice and finding good spots in the Crimson Forest to hide, because an iron golem was able to spot me with ease.
Hey, you know I can see you, right?
Ah, darn, I'm just trying to figure out how to survive against the Endergast.
Ah, you're that devil dragon that took out his ender creepers. I gotta hand it to you. This place has been nice and quiet since you took care of those guys. But I expect they'll start to muscle in again soon.
Why don't you come back to my base with me? That way, you'll be out of harm's way.
Say, thanks. You're all right, Mr. Devil Dragon.
Together, the Iron Golem and I headed back to base. I decided I would spruce the place up a little, so I gathered up some wool from the sheep and turned that into some fashionable decorative banners. Now we were surviving in style.
Zozo, come quick. The Endergast minions are out looking for those that have been marked.
Wait, they aren't here though. They haven't found me yet.
No, not you. The Soul Blaze. He was the last one to be marked, and he needs our help.
From day 32 to day 35, we rushed back through the Badlands to where the Fire Guardian had introduced me to the Soul Blaze. I couldn't let the Endergast get to him. He'd helped me start out on my journey.
Quick, Zozo, I see commotion up ahead.
A huge swarm of Ender Creepers were ganging up on the Soul Blaze, blocking us from getting to him.
So, the Endergast has finally found me after all this time. Couldn't run forever, I suppose.
The Ender Creepers were closing in, hissing and getting ready to explode. Before I could get close enough, there was an almighty boom, and many of them detonated, taking the Soul Blaze with them. No!
Hey, it's the other marked one, the Devil Dragon. Get him, fellas!
I had to fight back and managed to fend off the few Ender Creepers that were still left standing. But I was too late to save my friend, the Soul Blaze. From day 36 to day 39, I had to go and be on my own for a while. I was starting to worry that I wouldn't see this 100-day challenge through to the end. And even if I did, it seemed that the Endergast wasn't one to admit defeat so easily. Would this be my life now? Spending every day constantly on the run until Ender Creepers finally caught me? My thoughts were interrupted by the Hoglin. Oi! Why the long face? Huh? It's nothing. Just thinking about some stuff.
Well, you got a minute to spare? Mate Blaze took my guitar, and I can't get it back.
Sure, but you really should say please, you know. I tried to keep my focus on the task at hand. I still had plenty of days to get through, and if I was ever going to outsmart a hunter as ruthless and unruly as the Endergast, then I needed to become a better hunter myself. I tracked down the mutant Blaze. Attacking it with fire breath probably wasn't going to end well, so instead, I snuck up a nearby hill to get the high ground, then dropped towards the mutant Blaze, scratching it up with my dragon claws and finishing it off with my sword. I gathered up the Hoglin's guitar, and he seemed to be apologetically grateful.
Cheers for your help there. Sorry I was so rude before. This guitar is all I've got to help me survive. I don't know what I'd do without it.
You're right. That's given me a fresh perspective on things. I need to hold on to what I've still got as tight as I can. That way, I'll survive the Endergast and his unfair hunt. From day 40 to day 43, I headed back to base and back to my friends. They had helped me make it this far into the 100 days, so I needed to make sure I took care of them as much as they looked out for me.
Welcome back, Zozo. I hope you're feeling better after some time alone.
I am a little, but I think I'll get by with a little help from my friends.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, as we are due to have more joining us soon. I hope you don't object, but without the guidance of the Soul Blaze, my fellow Fire Guardians need a refuge, so I've urged them to come here.
Of course, the more the merrier. Say, have you been decorating in here?
Just a few small improvements.
The Fire Guardian had really been helping bring the place together with some brand new couches and bookshelves. And not a moment too soon either, seeing as his Fire Guardian buddies soon started showing up. After I had helped to greet them, the Iron Golem came up to me.
Hey, Mr. Devil Dragon.
You can call me Zozo, you know.
My bad. I've got a favor to ask. Would you go to my old place and pick up my emerald stash? I left it behind by mistake, and I'm worried I'll get seen by one of the Endergast cronies if I head back on my own.
No problem. Leave it to me. From day 44 to day 49, I ventured back to the Crimson Forest to track down the Iron Golem's emerald stash. It wasn't exactly the most challenging task I'd faced, but at least I was helping out my friends. That was the key to my survival, working together. Unfortunately, I wasn't the only one who'd had that idea. The Endergast came bursting out of the shadows towards me, accompanied by his toughest stooge yet, a mutant wither skeleton.
Found you again, and you aren't going to be getting away so easily this time!
You're the one who's found me so many times, but failed to stop me. Face it, you're only trying to prove what a scary hunter you are, because in reality, you're just not that good at it.
I'm an exceptional hunter, and you want to know why? Fear! If you make the creatures of this world fear you, then they'll bend to your whims. For example, let me introduce you to my friend here.
Not tough enough to take me on yourself?
Oh, you naive fool! You think you can goad me? This is all part of my game, making you grow confident, even arrogant, all so I can make you realize how futile your efforts were when I finally beat you!
With that, he slunk back into the shadows as his mutant wither skeleton started coming towards me, ready to attack. I drew my sword and leapt into battle! From day 50 to day 53, I crossed swords with the fearsome mutant wither skeleton. This was by far my toughest fight yet. With the nasty mob lacked in speed, it more than made up for in strength. I had to make sure to put some cover between me and it when the creature geared up for another heavy attack.
Oh, the little devil dragon only made it halfway. Looks like you won't be seeing day 100.
That's what you think!
Huh? Where did that come from?
I remembered to use my environment to my advantage. While I was behind cover and the mutant wither skeleton was talking, I quietly slipped around to some cover behind him. Now he was looking in the wrong place, and it meant I could get the drop on him. I launched a flame breath attack and struck the mutant wither skeleton with my flames, then charged in to deliver the final blow with my sword. He was down, defeated, but not destroyed yet.
You're tougher than I thought.
Tell me how I can defeat the Endergast.
Defeat him? You'll have to find him first. He resides in the Dover Mountains, surrounded by his most loyal and powerful hunters. You might as well take these.
As he died, the mutant wither skeleton passed me a handful of mystical diamonds. These would come in handy later, I thought, so I held on to them. From day 54 to day 57, I continued to search around the Crimson Forest and eventually found the Iron Golem's emerald stash. Unfortunately, there was a problem. A mutant husk had picked it up. So I hid and waited for it to drift past me, then leapt out, landing a powerful series of claw attacks and dealt with it in no time. I headed back to my base with the emerald stash and was finally able to return it to my friend, the Iron Golem.
Thanks, Zozo. In exchange for this favor, I'll tell you an important secret.
A secret? What do you mean?
The devil dragons! Long ago, they were considered to be the most prized prey to an aspiring hunter wanting to prove themselves. But they were so rare that hardly anyone could catch them. Only one appeared every few hundred years.
That must be why the Endergast is so interested in me. From day 58 to day 62, I worked on making some improvements to the sheep pen, giving those woolly guys a lot more space to roam around freely. But after I had done that, I remembered about those mystical diamonds I had taken from the mutant wither skeleton. I didn't have enough to craft weapons with, but I bet that if I could find some additional diamonds, I could make something pretty special with these. So that's what I did. I ventured down into the mines, and sure enough, there, embedded in the stony walls, were some shiny, untouched diamonds. I knocked them free with my pickaxe and took them back to my base. There, I combined them with the mystical diamonds to create a brand new diamond sword and pickaxe to match. They were both imbued with the magic of the mystical diamonds. It was then that the Fire Guardian came to tell me about some of the new improvements he had been making to the base while I'd been busy.
Take a look over here. I've made the living area more comfortable to accommodate everyone that's staying here at the base. And there's even a fireplace. My fellow Fire Guardians were feeling a little aimless without some fire to guard.
Wow, these are some impressive upgrades. From day 63 to day 66, I decided to have a chat with my old pal, the Evoker. Since he was a more accomplished hunter, I figured he might know something about the mountains where the Endergast's base supposedly was.
Smart call asking me. That's the mark of a hunter who's willing to learn from the experience of others. Mountains, eh? Not the nicest of places. Shame that you'll have to head over there. If you head due west from here, you'll find the path there. But watch your footing. It's a treacherous biome to be in.
I set off in the direction that the evoker had pointed me in, and before long, I found myself in the mountains. This place looked pretty desolate, even more than the Badlands or the Crimson Forest. Something about all those stony spires made it seem unforgiving. I suddenly got startled and instantly turned to face what I thought was my attacker. I was prepared to face off against some of the toughest mobs working for the Endergast, and when I saw a mutant hoglin, I thought he was after me.
Hey, take it easy, bro.
Wait, you're not here to attack me for the Endergast?
What, that jerk? No way, bro. I'm a hunter. I've been on the trail of a wild blue manticore. A fascinating but aggressive beast. You look like an aspiring hunter too. Fancy coming along to show me what you got?
Okay, let's go. But we should tread quietly. Don't want to attract too much attention.
Ah, good call. I can tell you've done this before.
From day 67 to day 70, I ventured further into the unfamiliar terrain of the mountains. The mutant hoglin hunter was a pretty good tracker and showed me some of the tracks that the blue manticore had left. I took the opportunity to get familiar with this new biome. After all, if the Endergast was hiding somewhere here, I'd need to make sure I could use the mountains to my advantage. Before long, we had found the blue manticore's lair. I took the lead, making sure I was staying nice and stealthy. Once I was at the edge of the cave, I used my flame breath to smoke out the blue manticore into the open. I leapt into action, swiping my claws at the surprised creature. The blue manticore's hide was tough to pierce with my dragon claws, but not enough for my diamond sword. My blade cut through the armored hide with ease, and I felled the beast at last.
That was some nice hunting there, Zozo. Well, happy trails. Maybe I'll see you around sometime, bro.
Huh, what an odd dude. From day 71 to day 74, I continued my exploration of the mountains, trying to figure out where the Endergast had hidden his base. This was a far more dangerous biome than the others I had visited. In some of the more elevated parts, one wrong step could lead to a nasty fall. While carefully navigating a mountain, I was sure that I saw a rock formation that seemed to spell out words. It read, "If you're enjoying this video, then be sure to watch more by searching for Zozo. Huh, must be a trick of light. Or maybe this altitude is making me lightheaded. I carefully skidded down to the foot of the mountain, only to see a familiar, frightening face waiting for me. It was the dreaded Lord Endergast.
What do you think you're doing here? These mountains are my territory. How dare you? You think you can track me here to my mountains and expect to make it out alive?
Wow, he's really mad. I didn't expect him to be so precious about the mountains. I quickly dodged out of the path of an oncoming fireball and grabbed my sword. The diamond blade caught the Endergast by surprise, and for a moment, I thought I might be able to actually get the upper hand on him. But he was still too strong, fending me off with ease as he regained his composure. I had to get out of there, and fast. It was time for another timely retreat back to the base. From day 75 to day 78, I went back to my base and sat down in my room for a bit. I wasn't feeling too good about running away from the Endergast again. I knew it was the smartest thing I could have done in the situation, otherwise I would have been done for. But it still stung a little, knowing I hadn't beaten him.
Hey, you Zozo, don't let it get you down. Maybe seeing our brand new watchtower will lift your spirits.
While I was gone, the Iron Golem had been working on adding a watchtower to the base so we could see threats coming from afar. I had to admit, climbing up to the top, that the view really put a smile on my face, but not as much as what happened next.
Zozo, I've been looking for you. My fellow Fire Guardians and I have been working on a thank you gift for you. Here, drink this potion.
I took the magical upgrade potion and suddenly felt myself getting much stronger. Wow, I now had a whole 100 hearts. And to make things even better, I had improved my fireball attack into a mighty dragon fireball attack. Now I was really living up to my devil dragon name. From day 79 to day 84, feeling more confident and much more powerful, I decided to head back towards the mountains to confront the Endergast. But when I made it back to the spot where we had last clashed, he was nowhere to be found. I did have a run-in with a fire ogre. There were so many different mobs in the mountains that this biome was almost like a whole other world. I quickly learned that fire ogres were resistant to my dragon fireball attack, but it didn't fare as well against my sword and the forces of gravity. After I defeated the fire ogre, I searched their lair for any interesting loot and stumbled upon an imprisoned black kitty.
Oh, thank you. That horrid ogre wanted to eat me. Please get me out of here, and I'll show you where they keep their most prized possession.
then?
I helped out the kitty, and to say thank you, she gave me a diamond helmet from the ogre's private treasure stash. Wow, this is great! I've been in need of a new helmet. From day 85 to day 89, I was heading back when, to my horror, I was met with the awful sight of a group of ender creepers attacking my base. Hey, get the heck out of here! Scram!
Look out, boys! It's the Devil Dragon!
I rushed after them, quickly checking to see if my friends were okay. To my relief, nobody was seriously injured, although our poor base had seen better days. I remembered my experiences as a hunter and followed the trail of the ender creepers. I made sure to use all of my environment to my advantage, including asking a passing darkness ostrich if he'd seen those creepers.
Yeah, you just missed them. They were heading that way. Take them out. Last thing we want is Endergast goons ramming these badlands.
I caught up with the ender creepers and wasted no time launching a huge dragon fireball attack. But then it hit me. They were heading back towards the mountains. I could use this to my advantage too. These ender creepers could lead me to the Endergast base. From day 90 to day 94, I kept up with the ender creepers as they fled back to their boss, the Endergast. Sure enough, keeping on their trail led me right to the Endergast's hidden base in the heart of the mountains. I leapt in to finish off the last of the ghast creeper cronies. I had to make sure they didn't reveal my base's location. But before I could even think about what to do next, a huge two-headed nether ogre came stomping out of the base towards me.
So you're the Devil Dragon? You don't look so tough. The boss says it's time to end this game. For good.
This two-headed nether ogre looked like he wouldn't go down easy. I was in for my toughest fight yet. From day 95 to day 97, I clashed with the two-headed nether ogre. It wasn't an easy fight at all. The ogre was one tough customer. He swung at me, and I had to duck out of the way. Even with my new helmet, he could have knocked my block off. I blasted him with a dragon fireball attack and followed it up with relentless slashes of my sword. There was no way to use my surroundings to help. I just had to keep up the attack. And luckily, it finally seemed to work. A well-timed fireball knocked the two-headed nether ogre off his feet, and he came toppling over with a loud thud.
Ah, dang it! The boss is gonna be so angry with me.
Why even work for an Endergast in the first place? You're a tough guy. I'm sure even you can't possibly be scared of him.
I got no choice. I was mocked once in his 100 days hunting game. I lasted as long as I could, but he caught up to me in the end. Because I'd impressed him, he forced me to be his henchman for 100 years.
So he could trap me like that too. Man, this guy really is a jerk.
You said it, pal.
With that, the two-headed nether ogre passed on. I had to double back to my base as quick as possible and make sure everything was okay. On day 98, I made the journey back to my base and assessed some of the damage the ender creepers had left in their attack. Fortunately, it wasn't too bad all things considered. Most of the damage was taken by the perimeter wall, and that's what it was there for. Look guys, I need to stop the Endergast once and for all. If I don't act now, then there's a chance he won't ever let me go. You've all helped me get this far, so thank you very much. First, the Fire Guardian came to say goodbye.
The Fire Guardians have your back, Zozo. We will defend all you've built here while you go forth. The Soul Blaze would be proud of you.
Then, the Iron Golem.
Well, Mr. Devil Dragon, you gave me a place to stay out of harm's way, and I'm grateful for that. That's way nicer than the Endergast or his cronies have ever been to me, so I say, go kick their butts.
And finally, the Evoker.
You've become a mighty fine hunter, Zozo. You've listened to all my advice, and there's nothing more I can teach you. Just follow your instincts, and you'll prevail.
With that, I headed off to finally end my 100 days for good. On day 99, I retraced my steps and found myself back where I wanted to be, right outside the Endergast base. He must have realized I took down its two-headed nether ogre because the place was swarming with ender creepers. Just as I was trying to get the drop on them, a familiar face snuck up on me. It was the mutant Hoglin.
Don't overwork yourself, bro. I'll handle these clowns. Slip inside while they're distracted.
Thanks, Mutant Hoglin. Now I could sneak into the base undetected. This was it! On day 100, I reached the top of the enemy's base and came face to face once again with the Endergast. He had been expecting me, but he wasn't too pleased that I'd made it this far.
You again. You really don't give up. Well, since you survived up to day 100, maybe I could find use for you. After all, you did just take down my last top henchman.
No chance. I'm here to put an end to this game once and for all.
Let's see about that, shall we? There's only one way this game ends. My way!
And before any more words could be exchanged, the battle began. I had to use all my strength and experience to take on the Endergast. I thought quick on my feet of a way to destroy him. I tried a few times, hitting the Endergast in the head with my fireballs and dealing some damage, but it had also angered him a lot. He let out a spew of fireballs, and I had to quickly get the heck out of the way. He flew down to get closer to me, and that made him vulnerable. Moving quickly, I used my claw attacks, then showed up with my mystical diamond sword. Then, as he fired his last fireball at me, I deflected it and sent it back his way, finishing him off for good measure. It worked! I had finished it! The Endergast was defeated, and his ruthless hunt was over. I had survived the whole 100 days. On day 1, I spawned into the Badlands as an awesome lava dinosaur. I may only be a baby, but I think when I grow up, I'm gonna be the coolest creature of all. But being that cool comes with certain drawbacks. You attract a lot of attention. That must have been why a terrifying soul blaze suddenly appeared in front of me.
Behold, 'tis I, the ultimate being, the Lord of Souls, and I wish to add yours to my collection, Zozo.
Wait, how do you know my name?
I know all. I see all, and in time, I will be able to do all. I will absorb your power, little lava dinosaur, and with it, I will become unstoppable.
My power? I don't even have any power yet.
Oh, but you will, Zozo. You will. Over the next 100 days, I will challenge you. I will hunt you. Through these trials, I will make you strong, and then, when you reach the height of your power, you will be mine.
Before I could try to talk him out of this wild plan, he fired an energy blast from his supercharged Soul Blaze rods. I ran as fast as I could, terrified by what he planned to do. I want to get stronger, but if I do, will I just be playing into the Lord of Souls' hands? This is gonna be a tough one. On day 2, I ventured out deeper into the Badlands to try and see what I could find. There's still a lot I don't know about this place. It's called the Badlands, but it seems pretty okay to me so far. I've got to be careful though. I only have 10 hearts, so I want to stay out of trouble. Suddenly, I heard my stomach growl. Oh, that's right. I've been alive for almost 2 days, and I haven't eaten yet. I better find some snacks. I wasn't sure what kind of food I could find in the Badlands, but as I was looking around, I spotted something red on the ground. Hey, apples! Perfect! An apple a day keeps the Lord of Souls away. That's the saying, right? I ate the apples and felt much better with a full stomach. Good luck didn't last long. I saw some Vex Piglins scowling at me and flying toward me.
Face us, Zozo. The Lord of Souls sent us to test your strength.
No, I don't wanna!
Too bad. Time to fight.
They got even closer and started to attack. I did my best to defend myself, but I had never fought anyone before, and these guys were way too strong for me. All I could do was run away from those terrifying Vex Piglins, and in the process, I ran into a spider llama.
Follow me. These piggies can eat my dust.
On day 3, the spider llama led me to a campfire further out in the Badlands. It was a huge relief to find a cozy, safe place to rest for a while.
This is where the magic happens. And by magic, I mostly mean sleeping and hanging out with my buddy, the Fire Guardian.
I don't see a fire guardian, until I did see one, standing by the fire.
That's because I'm over here, guarding this fire. Hello there, baby lava dinosaur. I see you too are a being forged in fire. May your flame burn brightly.
Thanks, I'm Zozo, by the way.
It's nice to meet you, Zozo. My name is Dennis. And this spider llama who brought you here goes by the name Zach.
I'm grateful for both of you. Those Vex Piglins cornered me in a totally unfair fight. They were working for this awful Soul Blaze. Big scary guy. Maybe you know him?
Unfortunately, I do. The Lord of Souls means to add you to his collection, I assume?
Yes, he said he's going to wait for me to become strong. Then he's going to take my soul and steal my power. So I decided I'm not going to get stronger at all. That way, he won't get me. I'll just lay low and stay out of trouble.
I know it seems frightening, but you must seek strength and progress anyway. But you can't allow the Lord of Souls to steal that strength. Instead, you must use it against him so that he never takes another soul again.
Oh geez, that sounds like a lot of work.
It will be, but you will have help. No dinosaur is truly alone in this world, not when he has friends. Go with Zach and build your first base. We'll develop from there.
Okay, then it's decided. I'll become the biggest, strongest lava dinosaur I can, and I'll defeat the Lord of Souls before he can use my power to become unstoppable. It's the right thing to do. From day 4 to day 5, I got to work building my base. First things first, to build my base, I need some tools. I'm gonna need to gather some wood. Can I even touch trees without setting them on fire? I sure hope so. Luckily, me being a lava dinosaur didn't have any effect on the trees, and I was able to gather some wood. Then I used that wood to craft a wooden pickaxe. Next, I'll get some stone. I used the wooden pickaxe to gather enough stone to craft a full set of stone tools, including a stone sword. My first sword. Check me out. I'm not just a weak little baby dinosaur anymore. Now I'm a baby dinosaur with a sword. But I didn't have time to practice sword fighting. I needed to build a place for me and Zach to stay. I built a small house and added a room for Zach and another room for me. There we go. Home sweet home.
Nice digs. Simple, but nice.
We can always add more, too. Zach went inside, and I was able to follow him when a skeleton ran up and started attacking me. Luckily, I had my new stone sword, and I was able to defend myself. I was still pretty new to fighting, but I managed to defeat him. After the fight, I started to feel funny. Not in a bad way, but different. I grew a little bigger, and I felt stronger. My hearts increased to 30. Yay! As I yelled, I saw a blast of fire shoot out of my mouth. Cool, fire breath. I'll have to be careful not to accidentally burn anything down when I talk, but this is awesome! From day 6 to day 8, I decided that it was time for me to explore the area outside of the Badlands. I can't just hang around here forever. I've got to get out there and learn more about being a lava dinosaur. Like, what's the difference between a lava dinosaur and a dragon? Is it that I don't have wings? I gotta find out. I'd also stop the Lord of Souls from stealing my power. That too. I traveled to the Black Forest. I thought Black Forest was a type of cake, but I don't see any cake here. I guess life is disappointing sometimes. Oh well. I was distracted by the lack of cake when I saw a poor old fisherman being attacked by a nasty thorn wolf. I ran at the wolf with my sword and attacked. It took a while to defeat the thorn wolf, and it snarled at me, snapping its jaws. It was pretty scary, but I managed to fight it off.
Thank you, young dinosaur. I was afraid that blasted wolf would tear me limb from limb.
Yikes, I'm glad he didn't. You need your limbs.
I sure do. Can't reel in the fish without them, which is what I was trying to do when I was attacked by that beast. But if you think that thorn wolf was bad, you should see the other guy, the wolf guy that is. Say, if you manage to defeat that mongrel, maybe you can defeat this monster too. Could you give it a try?
Sure, I can try. Just show me where to go. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the fisherman to a place deeper in the Black Forest. Is it just me, or is it getting really creepy in here?
It's definitely not just you. You can probably sense the thorn-corrupted wolfman that's taken over this part of the woods. Which is a shame, because some of the best fishing is over here, and I can't get to it with him attacking anyone who gets too close.
That's not fair. I'll do my best to make sure you get your fishing spot back. Up ahead, the thorn-corrupted wolfman appeared. He had nasty matted fur and wild eyes.
Ow! Who's trespassing in my forest?
It's me, Zozo.
You, huh? Well, I was getting pretty hungry. I guess you'll make a nice snack.
How about you try some fire breath? I used my fire breath to attack, but the wolfman didn't even flinch. He came back at me and slashed me with his claws. Ow! Oh! This might be too tough of a fight for me. I ran back to the fisherman and away from danger as quick as I could. Quick, let's get out of here.
You're just giving up?
No, I'll come back when I'm stronger. But if that's gonna happen, we need to survive another day. Come on. The fisherman agreed, and we both ran out of there until we couldn't hear the wolfman's bone-chilling howls anymore. From day 11 to day 12, I led the fisherman back to my base. You can stay here until the Black Forest is a wolfman free zone.
Well, thank you, but is there any room for me? I don't want to be rude, but your home looks pretty small.
Well, I can fix that. Just wait right here. I'll build you a room. I got to work and built a nice room for the fisherman to sleep in. When I was finished, I saw that he wasn't where I left him. He had added another room to the base too. What's this?
Just a wee token of my appreciation. I thought you might need more room for items and such, so I built you a storage room. I hope you'll find it useful.
You didn't have to do that.
There is very little we truly have to do in this world. It doesn't mean it isn't worth doing.
I'm glad there are nice people out there, and not just the Lord of Souls and his minions.
Stay far away from him, my friend. He would love to steal a power like yours.
That's what he told me too. I'm going to do my best to defeat him so he can't steal people's power anymore.
Be very careful. I've heard rumors that he's been waiting for the chance to absorb the strength of a fire-breathing dragon. And as a lava dinosaur, you're probably the next best thing.
Yikes! Talk with the fisherman inspired me to keep working on upgrading my weapons, so I went to a nearby cavern to get some mining done. I gathered some iron ore, which I took back to my base and smelted into iron ingots. Then, I used them to make an iron pickaxe and an iron sword. Spiffy! Hey, with another new person staying here, we're going to need more supplies. I should find some animals. I spotted some sheep grazing nearby and decided that they would be perfect. I built a sheep farm for them and herded them into their pen. This place is really coming together. From day 13 to day 15, I was out of ideas for how to get stronger, so I decided to ask Zach for some advice. Hey, you're a tough guy, right?
Sure am. Why? Did someone say I wasn't? I'll fight them.
No. I just wanted to ask you what you think I should do to get stronger. What should I do?
Well, everyone's journey is different, little dude. But I do know that facing your fears is a good way to grow. Maybe try that.
Well, I was pretty scared in the Black Forest. I guess I can go back there. I'll just make sure I don't run into the Wolfman.
Oh yeah, don't mess with the Wolfmen. They're always looking for a fight, and they're no fun at parties.
I traveled back to the Black Forest, keeping an eye out for the Wolfman. Gotta face my fears. It's so creepy in here though. Why is this forest so scary? As if to answer my question, some Vex piglins popped out.
Maybe it's because you're nothing but a weak little baby.
Oh no, it's those Vex piglins again!
Yep, we've decided you're a waste of the boss's time. It would be better to just get rid of you and find a better target for him.
Guess I have to fight you then, and face my fears. I used my fire breath to attack, then ran at them with my new iron sword. They fought back, but I dodged them. After a little bit of fire breath and sword action, I was finally able to defeat them. I did it! Zach was right. I do feel stronger. Oh, look, a health potion. They must have dropped it. I picked up the health potion and drank it. My heart increased to 60, and my claws got sharper. Cool, I have a new ability, Claw Attack. From day 16 to day 19, my exploration took me out of the Black Forest and into the Cypress Swamplands. So nice to change out those old trees for some new, different trees. And those different trees brought me good luck because I spotted a book and picked it up. The title said, Better Living Through Exposition. What does that mean? Better take a look inside just to see. Okay, it says that the Lord of Souls hides somewhere dry and hot. So definitely not anywhere nearby then. That's good to know.
Why read about it? You'll be winding up there soon enough.
Vex piglins? But I just defeated you.
No, those are some other Vex piglins. There are dozens of us, dozens, and we're all coming after you.
Well, this worked before, so I guess I'll try it again. Fire breath, attack! I used my fire breath, but it wasn't quite enough to defeat them. So I followed it up with a few swipes of my claws. Claw attack! Turns out, the Vex piglins were no match for my new and improved claws, and I managed to win the battle. From day 20 to day 22, I headed back home to my base. On the way, I fought a mean-looking spider to test out my new abilities. It was easy to beat, way easier than the Vex piglins. Okay, now I need to get back into the mines and see if I can find some more materials. Zozo needs some iron armor. I don't know why I talked about myself in third person like that. Let's go! I climbed down into the mining cavern and searched until I found some iron ore. Back at my base, I smelted the ore and used the iron ingots to craft an iron chest plate. This thing makes me feel pretty tough. Between this and my new abilities, I think I can finally fight the Wolfman. With my new confidence, and more importantly my new chest plate, I traveled back to the Black Forest to look for the thorn-corrupted Wolfman. I followed the sound of his howl until I found him. When he saw me, he growled.
Back again? Good. I was starting to get hungry. And you're bigger now. Even better. I could use a good meal.
He came at me with his claws, but I had claws too. I used my claw attack, and he looked shocked at how much damage it did. That didn't stop him though, and he attacked me again. But my iron chest plate protected me from his fangs and claws, and I was able to get the upper hand and win the fight.
Splendid.
I turned around, and the Lord of Souls was there.
You're getting stronger, I see. Soon you will be strong enough, and your power will make me invincible.
Or I'll use it to defeat you.
Impossible. You were born for this very purpose. A prophecy foretold that the power of a fire-breathing dragon would allow me to conquer all.
But I'm a dinosaur.
Close enough.
I didn't want to stick around to hear what else he had to say, so I got out of there as fast as I could. From day 23 to day 26, I ran away from the Lord of Souls and headed back to my base. I can't stand that guy. At least I have good news for the fisherman. Speak of the devil.
You do? I love good news.
Yes, the Wolfman is finally gone. You can go back to your favorite fishing spot again.
Thank you so much, Zozo. Next time I catch a fish, I'll name it after you.
Okay. Next, I went back into the mining cavern to find some more iron ore. Once I had it, I smelted it and used the ingots to craft an iron helmet and boots. Pretty snazzy stuff. While I was admiring my new armor, the fisherman came to talk to me again.
Before I head out to catch some fish, I built a perimeter wall for the base. Something to keep us all a little safer here. Just my way of saying thanks for getting rid of that man-eating wolfman.
No problem. Whoa, it looks great. From day 27 to day 31, I decided to return to the Cypress swamplands to see if I could find anything else useful. I found that book here before. Who knows what else I might stumble on? Turns out, the answer was a fire elemental, and he stumbled on me.
Excuse me, are you the dragon that got rid of the Vex piglins who were here earlier?
I'm a dinosaur, but yeah, that was me.
That was really impressive. They were causing a huge mess around here. But before you managed to get them, they got to my house and destroyed it. Any chance you know where I could stay for a while?
Follow me, I'll show you the way to my base. I escorted the fire elemental back to my base. Then I collected some fluffy wool from my sheep. You know what, sheep? I think this place is looking a little bit boring. What do you think? The sheep didn't say anything back, but I could tell they agreed. So I put up some decorative banners. Much better. From day 32 to day 35, Zach came to me to ask for help. What's going on?
It's Dennis! He's facing some kind of menace! I think that Lord of Souls sent some creeps to mess with him!
Oh no, let's go right away! I traveled to Dennis, the Fire Guardian's campfire, and by the time we got there were Vex piglins all over the place, and I couldn't see Dennis anywhere. You will pay for this! I rushed in and blasted the piglins with my fire breath. Then I shredded them with my claw attack. I was able to defeat a bunch of them, and once they were out of the way, I saw Dennis fading away. Oh no!
Zozo, you came. Thank you. But I'm afraid it's too late for me. Be strong. Help the others. Save the world.
And just like that, he was gone. From day 36 to day 39, I traveled back to the Black Forest so I could see how the fisherman was doing at his fishing spot. But before I could get to the fishing spot, a ghost miner drifted out from between two trees and approached me.
Well, I'll be. You look like a strong youngin' who might just be able to help out an old-timer like me. What do you say?
Sure. What do you need?
Back before I was a ghost, I was attacked by a deep spider around these parts. Suppose you could destroy that spider so I can finally get my revenge on the critter?
Sure. I searched the Black Forest until I found the deep spider. It was pretty easy to defeat with just a blast of my fire breath and a few swipes of my sword. Then I went back to the ghost miner. I did it!
Hoo-wee! Feels good to let my soul be at rest. Thank you, Sonny. Speaking of souls, better be careful of yours around that soul eater fella. If he snatches yours, there's no getting it back. He'll absorb all your power and leave nothing but a husk behind.
I'll make sure to remember that. Thanks. From day 40 to day 43, I returned home to my base. When I got there, I saw that someone had added a nice new lounge area outside. This looks so nice. It's the perfect place to curl up with a good book and relax. I'll definitely do that once my quest is complete and the Lord of Souls is dealt with. I wonder who did this.
It was me, little dude!
Oh, cool. But why?
I don't want to cramp your style, but I've got a few buddies that need a place to stay. Mind if they kick it here with us for a bit?
Sure, that would be great. A little while later, some other spider llamas came to the base.
Zozo, these are my bros.
Welcome to my base, everybody. After I said hi to the spider llamas, the fire elemental came to see me.
I know you've already done a ton to help me, but could you do one more thing? There's a skulk scorpion that's, well, skulking around the ruins of my old house. Until he's gone, I can't rebuild it.
I'll write him a strongly worded letter. Just kidding, I'll go out there and see if I can get him to leave. From day 44 to day 49, I traveled back to the Cypress Swamplands to look for that pesky skulk scorpion that was giving the fire elemental so much trouble. Is there a scorpion in the house, or around the ruins of the former house? I didn't get an answer. What I got instead was an unwelcome surprise appearance from the Lord of Souls!
Why waste your time trying to help other weaklings when you could be growing stronger, when you could be fueling my eventual victory over all?
This isn't about you!
Foolish Zozo! Everything is about me. Now, hone your combat skills and fight!
He disappeared, and in his place, there was a huge, powerful Pigless! I don't want to fight you, but I get a feeling I don't have much of a choice! From day 50 to day 53, I battled the Pigless. He was much bigger and stronger than me, but I did my best to hold my own. I did have one thing he didn't have though, Fire Breath, and my other dinosaur abilities. With the help of those moves and my positive attitude, I managed to defeat him.
You may have bested me, but only a pure heart and a diamond sword can defeat the Lord of Souls.
With those final words, he vanished into dust. Oh, that was a tough one, but I did it! Oh hey, sparkly! The Pigless dropped some mystical diamonds! I'd better take these with me. They'll probably come in handy later. From day 54 to day 57, I resumed my search for the Skulk Scorpion. No matter what the Lord of the Souls says, I know it's worth it to help out those who need it. I spotted the ruins of a house, and there, nested in the middle of it all, was the Skulk Scorpion. You can't just take this place, it's someone's home. The scorpion just approached me threateningly and attacked. But the scorpion's stinger was no match for my claw attack. Pretty soon, I had won. I sprinted back to my base and gave the fire elemental the news.
Wonderful, thank you, Zozo. You really are amazing. No wonder the Lord of Souls thinks you're the hero from the prophecy. He's convinced that you're the fabled fire dragon that can give him the power to take over the world. All he needs is for you to come into your full potential. Then he'll steal your soul.
I keep saying I'm not a dragon.
I know you're a lava dinosaur. I've met others of your kind before. You have many abilities similar to those of dragons, but you're different, too.
Thank you. I was starting to worry I might be wrong. So many people kept calling me a dragon.
Never let anyone tell you who you are, Zozo. You know yourself better than anyone.
From day 58 to day 62, I decided to make some quick improvements to the base. I built another sheep pen and found some more sheep to herd into it. Welcome home, little sheep. Next, I remembered what the Pigless said about a diamond sword. So I went into the cavern and mined until I found some diamonds. I was going to use them to craft a diamond sword, but then I remembered I also picked up those mystical diamonds before. So I used those to make my sword, and the other diamonds to craft a diamond pickaxe. Afterwards, I exited my base and noticed Zach standing outside my door.
Little dude, I added some awesome stuff to the base. Check it. I expanded the resting area outside to make it even better.
This looks amazing. I can't wait to hang out here. From day 63 to day 66, I was trying to decide what to do next. I went down into the mines where I was surprised to find the fisherman.
Zozo, I was looking for you. I heard that the Lord of Souls has his hideout in the dunes. I thought it might be worth a look.
Oh, that's good to know. It's definitely somewhere dry and hot, like that book said. I'll go check it out. I traveled to the dunes and looked around for any sign of the Lord of Souls or his hideout. I didn't want to fight him yet, but I wanted to be as prepared as possible. While I was exploring, I wandered into the domain of a Crimson Phantom.
Get out of here! No associates of the Lord of Souls are welcome!
Wait, I'm not one. I don't work for him. I'm trying to get rid of him.
Oh, that's great news. Sorry for the scare. Hi, my name's Coco.
Hi, Coco. I'm Zozo.
So, if you're a good guy, does that mean you could help me get rid of the creeper spider that's been lurking around and trying to bite me?
Sure does. I'm great at fighting spiders. From day 67 to day 70, I helped Coco the Crimson Phantom with her spider problem. It didn't take long to find the creepy spider. It was creeping around nearby and looking for a chance to bite her. Hey, there's a bug problem here, and I'm the exterminator.
I don't think spiders count as bugs, but I like your spirit.
I'm not good at bug science, but I'm good at fighting. I blasted the creeper spider with my fire breath, then attacked it with my diamond sword. Pretty soon, it was done for. That spider won't be bothering you anymore.
I can't thank you enough. I wish you lots of luck in your quest.
From day 71 to day 74, I continued exploring the dunes. If I can figure out where the Lord of Souls lives, I'll know where to go when I'm ready to fight him. Speaking of fighting and adventuring, if you want to see more videos like this, search ZO. That's Zozo, me. But that call to action attracted the attention of none other than the Lord of Souls.
Zozo, there you are.
Uh-oh.
Why aren't you cultivating that wonderful power for me? Soon it will be time for me to take it.
I tried to blast him with my fire breath, but it didn't even make a mark. He was way too strong. I had to run out of there before it was too late. From day 75 to day 78, I went back to my base and headed into the pool to cool off. I can't believe I had to run away. What if I'm never strong enough to beat him? What if I get just strong enough to help him and I ruin everything? Just then, the fire elemental came to see me.
That won't happen, Zozo. I know it. Hey, to get your mind off things, check out what I built. It's a watchtower for the base.
I'll admit, that's pretty cool. It's hard to be sad with a watchtower like this. Thanks. After that, my main man Zach approached me.
If you like that, then how about these apples? Sorry, that was confusing. There aren't any apples, but I do have this mace.
Awesome! Let me try it out. When I did, I felt magic coursing through me. I grew bigger and stronger. The gift increased my hearts to 100, and I felt like I had a new power too. I tested it out, and I was right.
Whoa, you have a dragon fireball ability.
Nope, I have a dinosaur fireball ability. From day 79 to day 84, I returned to the dunes, feeling much more confident in myself as a hero. I didn't see the Lord of Souls anywhere, but I did see a zombie shuffling around and tested my fireball out on it. It worked! I blew that zombie to smithereens!
Hey, that was really cool.
A big axolotl came over to congratulate me.
I got this for my uncle's birthday, but I actually think you should have it. You're a way better fighter than him.
He handed me diamond leggings. Whoa, thanks. Sorry to your uncle, though.
Nah, it's fine. I'll just get him a gift card.
These leggings will go great with the rest of my diamond gear. From day 85 to day 89, I headed back to my base to show my friends my new diamond leggings. But when I got there, it was under attack. There were Vex piglins all over the place. Hey, get out of here! Stop! I rushed towards the piglins and started to defeat them one by one using my mace. But some of them managed to run off, and I gave chase. I lost sight of them after a while, but I didn't give up. I heard a loud buzzing sound though, and when I looked in its direction, I saw a giant mosquito. Ah, don't bite me!
Bite you? Oh no, that's not why I'm here. I need help breaking apart this block. I've been trying for days, but I have no tools, and my little bug arms are too weak.
Quickly, I broke the block apart with my pickaxe. There you go. Gotta run. Bye!
I'll never forget you, kind stranger.
From day 90 to day 94, I tracked the Vex piglins to a spot in the dunes. This place looks super evil. Oh, this must be the lair of the Lord of Souls. I'd better not get too close. I noticed something I hadn't seen before. The Vex piglins had an Enderblaze with them. They were all listening to him and following his orders.
We messed that place up good, huh?
Yeah, the Lord of Souls will be pleased with your service. As his right-hand man, I will deliver reports of your loyalty.
I rushed out of my hiding place and confronted the Enderblaze. So you're the one who messed up my base. I guess this fireball is for you then. From day 95 to day 97, I began my battle against the Enderblaze. I shot a fireball at him, but he shot a fireball back at me. I dodged it, but just barely. Ouch, that's hot. Glad it didn't hit me, but this guy is really strong. This is my hardest fight yet. I drew my mace and attacked again. This time, I had more luck. I managed to do some damage, and that gave me the confidence to keep going. I got him with my claw attack, my mace again, and that managed to finish him off. When he went down, the Ender Blaze dropped a key. This must unlock the Lord of Souls base. This is awesome.
Yeah, take the key. Go inside. It's right where the Lord of Souls wants you to be. Once he has your power, he will burn down the entire world to rebuild it in his image. Thank you, Zozo. You will ensure his victory.
With that, he was gone. I won't let that be true. It can't. I have to get ready because it's time to prove the Lord of Souls wrong. On day 98, I returned to my base, more determined than ever. I'm almost out of days. I've got to make every moment count. First, the fire elemental came to speak with me.
Zozo, you saved my home. Without you, I would have nowhere to go. I know that you can conquer this force of evil.
Then came Zack, the spider llama.
Little dude. Well, not such a little dude anymore. But you'll always be little dude to me. I'm so proud of you, man. You're gonna do great. Dennis would be proud too.
And finally, the fisherman.
Zozo, I've brought you a fish. In case you get hungry or need some extra protein. Good luck, brave dinosaur.
On day 99, I started my journey to the Lord of Souls base. On the way there, I passed through the Black Forest. Can't believe I used to be scared of this place. That seems like so long ago now. Finally, I reached the base, but it was crawling with Vex piglins. Oh no, I'll have to fight all of them to get inside.
No, you won't. I will.
Coco!
You solved my pest problem. I'll solve yours. Go, Zozo. Get inside.
Thank you. Leaving Coco to take on the Vex piglins, I unlocked the door and ran inside. On day 100, I entered the lair of the Lord of Souls. I had faith in myself, but I was still so scared that I would lose. If the Lord of Souls beat me, it wouldn't only be me who suffered, it would hurt everyone. So I guess the solution to this is, don't lose. I found the Lord of Souls waiting for me in his room.
Ah, here you are, as foretold, the missing piece in the puzzle of my total domination of all life.
Not so fast. I shot a fireball at the Lord of Souls and it hit him, but all he did was laugh.
Zozo, fire cannot harm a Lord of Souls. You cannot burn me.
I can get you with this. While he was gloating, I attacked him with my mace. He staggered back from the hit.
No, impossible. The prophecy. A fire dragon will give me the power I need to ascend to victory.
A fire dragon might have helped you become the ultimate ruler of the world, but this lava dinosaur is going to destroy you! I swung my mace again and again as we fought fiercely against each other. Finally, I landed one last hit and the Lord of Souls collapsed on the ground! I guess it turns out that when it comes to prophecies, close enough just doesn't cut it. On day 1, I spawned in and ate my way out of a giant pumpkin as a fat dragon with 10 hearts. It looks like I'm way chunkier than the average dragon. It's okay though, because it's what's on the inside that counts. But my thoughts were interrupted by a huge fireball hitting the ground next to me. I managed to dodge it just in time and looked up to see a huge fire dragon floating in the sky above me.
Sup, Tubby? What are you doing on my turf? You know this is Chad's place. Who? Chad's the best.
Hey, don't call me mean names. And who's this Chad guy?
I'm Chad, and I rule. And when I'm flying around here, taking selfies for my red-hot Fire Dragon Insta, I don't want your goofy butt sitting in my background, killing my vibe.
But, you can't just call me names and kick me out.
Yeah I can. I'm Chad the Fire Dragon. I'm number 1. You aren't the first loser I've chased out of here, and you won't be the last, baby. It's fire time!
Chad the Fire Dragon blasted another fireball at me. I dodged again in the nick of time and flapped my wings, flying off into the air and escaping Chad's fire.
Yeah, that's right. You better run. Nobody messes with Chad. Ugh.
When I'd escaped Chad, I landed for a bit to breathe and calm myself down. That guy was a major jerk. Why would you be mean to someone just because of what they look like? He must be evil. My thoughts were interrupted by a big angry dread beast who thought I looked like a filling snack. Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. All I could do was fly off before the dread beast pounced at me. This world doesn't seem too kind. I need to make things better around here before everyone hates on each other. On day 2, I landed somewhere that looked a little safer, At least here, nobody would start attacking me for no reason. I need a roof over my head before I can do anything else. Maybe it's time to build myself a fat dragon base. I used some of my natural dragon strength to break down a few trees. It wasn't long before I had enough wood to make myself a wooden pickaxe and a crafting table. Then I used my wooden pickaxe to dig up some stone and create a stone sword and a stone pickaxe. This is exactly what I need to build a base. But first, I need to get myself a sweet treat. I've had a hard couple of days. I've earned it. I flew off to a nearby area and found a delicious looking cake just laying around. The perfect treat. But then, a dread ghoul jumped out of the shadows and started laughing.
My fiendish plan worked. I knew that a cake would attract a perfect fat little victim, and I was right.
Oh, come on! Why is everyone here so judgmental?
It's the way of the world, fat dragon. And now you've fallen for my trap. You're all mine.
But before the dread ghoul could pounce, I flew away again, all the way back to my base to enjoy my cake. Wait, I got so distracted by the cake that I didn't even start my base. When I landed, I used my stone pickaxe and collected more resources and started building myself a basic base. At least it would give me somewhere to stay at the end of the day. I should work on a kitchen next. On day 3, I decided that I needed to make my base a little bigger. I wasn't the tiniest dragon out there after all, and I needed the base to be roomy to be comfortable in it. So I flew off to a new location to collect more resources. Of course, it wasn't going to be as easy as I'd hoped, because nothing seems to be easy around here. The second I landed, there was an angry-looking dread knight waiting for me.
Avast! Thou art a hefty dragon, forsooth! Alack, 'tis a battle! A battle, good sir.
I literally don't understand anything you're saying, but I still feel like you're being mean to me.
Thou art correct. Battle me, knave.
I was really upset about being called mean names again, probably. So this time, I was ready to engage in battle. I attacked him with my stone sword until the Dread Knight gave up and moved away.
Thou doth won this time, dragon, but next time I will have my revenge, forsooth.
Stop saying forsooth. It doesn't make you sound cool or smart. It's just weird. With that, the Dread Knight ran away. Moments later, a different figure emerged, a big black hippogriff. Oh no, are you gonna say mean things about my weight too?
What? Heavens no! I'd never dream of judging someone based on their appearance. That's a total Chad the Dragon move. I'm Buck the Hippogriff.
Wait, Chad the Dragon? You know that guy?
Huh, I wish I didn't. He's so conceited. If he was made of cake, he'd probably eat himself. Talk about a selfish meanie.
Oh, speaking of cake, I have some back in my base. Come join me, we can share it together. I'm Zozo, by the way.
Finally, someone kind around here. You seem hungry already. I'll let you have some of my fish. And let's go, Zozo.
I'd made my first friend, and we started back to my base. Things were finally looking up for me. From day 4 to day 5, I returned to my base with Buck the Hippogriff. It felt nice to have someone who was so kind in a world that had been so mean to me. Let's build you a room, Buck. Something that really suits your awesome personality.
You're too kind, Zozo.
You were kind to me first. This is just me getting even. I started expanding my base, creating a nice new room for Buck to stay in. I even made it with an open roof so he could fly out and explore anytime he wanted.
This is an awesome room, Zozo. I'm so happy that I met you. You're the coolest fat dragon I've ever seen.
You're doing a lot to help boost my confidence, Buck. I love it. But our wholesome friendship moment was interrupted by a bunch of death worms slithering out of the ground towards me. Oh no, I need to do something about this before it ruins my whole base. I ran in and started battling the death worms. Lucky for me, in the battle of worms versus dragons, dragons normally win, and this was no exception. And once the worms were defeated, they dropped some delicious apples onto the ground. Huh, apples and worms. It doesn't normally go that way around. I stashed the apples into my inventory and went back to my base, where Buck the Hippogriff and I could hang out. With the death worms taken care of, I could work on expanding and improving my base. Yes. First, I need to make sure I have a fixed source of food, breakfast especially. I'd love some eggs. That's why I built a coop and some fences, then collected a few chickens and let them live inside. Free range, of course, because that's the kindest way to do it. It'll make the eggs taste better too. But while I was out searching for more chickens to add to my teeny tiny chicken farm, I saw the last thing I ever wanted to see, Chad the Fire Dragon. He was flying right above me, looking just as mean and arrogant as ever.
Ugh, what are you doing here, Chubby? Didn't the Chadmeister tell you that you need to get off the overworld? Maybe go to the Nether. That's where all the other weird, ugly beasts hang out. Nice one, Chad.
You can't nice one your own joke, Chad. It doesn't work like that.
Chad can do anything that Chad likes. He's the best. I mean, I'm the best. Whatever. Look at what I can do.
Suddenly, Chad started growing even bigger and stronger than before. He made even his old self look small. Oh no, you're so huge. How?
I've been getting some extra reps in at the gym. It's making me real swole. You'd know this if you followed my fire Insta. Like I said, instead, you're gonna deal with my fire. Fire!
Chad blasted an even bigger fireball at me. There was no way I could fight him like this. I needed to just get out of here. I flew off as fast as I could, just hoping that Chad wouldn't follow me. Getting rid of him was going to be a lot harder than I thought. From day 9 to day 10, I sat in my room at my base, feeling terrible about all the things Chad said to me and how much stronger he was than me. How can I ever expect to stop him from being so horrible to everyone if I can't even stop him from being horrible to me? Buck the Hippogriff seemed to sense that I was upset and came in to comfort me.
Zozo, I'm so sorry about all those terrible things that Chad said to you. For what it's worth, he's only like that because deep down, he's so insecure about himself. He wishes he had the kind of confidence you have.
Those are kind words, Buck, and they do make me feel a little better. I just feel bad that I wasn't able to defeat him.
Maybe what you need is a little inspiration. Go look out into the yard and see a little something I've been working on for you.
I ran outside and saw that Buck had been working on a statue. It looked incredible, but it was early enough that I couldn't quite tell what it was yet. Wow, this is amazing. What do you think it's gonna be when it's done? Let me know down in the comments. Buck came up to me again. Amazing work, Buck. I love the statue. What's it going to be?
I couldn't give that away. And besides, there's something else you should see. I built you a base upgrade.
I looked back at my base and saw that Buck had built me a storage room. The perfect place to store all of our weapons and supplies. Buck, you're the best friend I've ever had. From day 11 to day 12, I decided it was time to rest and recover from the stressful last few days. After all, it's important to take care of yourself and take time off now and then. But while I was sleeping, I started having the strangest dreams. I dreamed of how Chad the Fire Dragon was first created. He crawled out of lava, deep underground, a dragon of pure fire.
Whoa, I'm a dragon of pure fire. This is crazy. I think I'm gonna call myself Chad. Yeah, that feels like a good name for me.
But everyone was afraid of Chad because he was so big and so dangerous because of his fire powers. Chad felt bad about everyone being afraid of him, so to cover up how bad he felt, he decided to pretend he was confident in a completely over-the-top way.
The Chadster's #1! Huh.
But because Chad's confidence wasn't real, he could only protect it one way, by being mean to others, putting them down to make himself feel better.
Everyone is dumb and ugly except me. Oh yeah, Chad is awesome, and I'm Chad, baby.
Chad developed such a reputation for being rude and mean, nobody would tell him to stop. And as the years went on, he only got more powerful. Needless to say, it was a really weird dream, but I definitely felt like I knew more about Chad afterwards. I just wish I knew how I could use it against him. From day 13 to day 15, I decided I needed to settle a few old scores to improve my confidence. This fat dragon was through with running away. That's why I flew back to where it all started, to face the dread beast that thought I was an easy snack. Now I was going to show him that fighting me was going to be anything but easy. I landed right next to the dread beast, ready to battle, with the stone sword at the ready. Let's go, dread beast. We'll see who's really feeling the dread when I'm done. The dread beast ran at me, but I didn't budge. I fought back. And this time, I won! And with the XP I got from winning, I leveled up into a bigger, tougher, fatter dragon! Chad is gonna think twice about messing with me now. I've got an entire 30 hearts and a brand new weapon, Dragon Claws. I took to the skies, happier than I'd felt in a long time. From day 16 to day 19, feeling encouraged by all my progress lately, I decided it was time to treat myself to a gear upgrade. I found a nearby mine and went underground, digging until I found some iron ore. Perfect! This is exactly what I needed! But I wasn't alone in the mine, because the perfect opposite of a fat dragon was down there waiting for me. A bunch of human skeletons! At least they don't have enough tongue to make any mean jokes about me. I defeated the skeletons, then used my iron ore to smelt and craft an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. Looks like my fighting and mining skills have just leveled up. Chad is gonna feel so jealous about this when he finds out. With all my new gear, I went back to my base, feeling better than ever. From day 20 to day 22, I was rudely awakened by Buck storming into the room.
Zozo! Zozo! You need to wake up right now! Something terrible is happening!
Terrible? Oh no, that doesn't sound good.
Quite the opposite, actually. It's terrible. Chad, the fire dragon, is waiting for you outside. I think he wants to fight.
I got up and ran outside as quickly as I could. And just like Buck had told me, Chad the fire dragon was waiting.
Hey, jabroni! It's the Chadmeister, Chadageddon, the Central African nation of Chad. And as usual, I'm happy to hand you a big steaming plate of humiliation, baby.
You may be a fire dragon, Chad, but I think you're just full of hot air. Are you really saying all this stuff about yourself because you believe it, or because you want to believe it?
Ooh, look at you, Mr. Big Tubby Head Shrinker. You think you understand the Chadster's brain? The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma. You could never even hope to understand what I'm about, and I'm actually super duper confident. You're just way too much of a loser to get that.
Sounds like you're not that sure of yourself.
I so am! Let's fight, doofus!
We charged at each other and began battling. He blew fire at me, but with my new strength since our last battle, I was able to take the heat. That's when I showed him my new claws, swiping at him again and again. He seemed so shocked that I was really fighting back that he broke away from the fight and started to fly off.
I didn't really want to fight you that time anyway. Smell you later, fat dragon!
It wasn't exactly a true victory, but I'd seen the first crack in Chad's confidence. Maybe I can beat him after all. From day 23 to day 26, I decided that I needed to treat myself to a new enchantment for all my hard work, surviving my first true fight with Chad. Given how much he'd helped me so far, I asked Buck what he thought I should do.
Seeing as you got yourself an iron sword a while back, maybe you should apply the sharpness enchantment. Who knows? It might even make your claws more powerful.
That's a great idea, Buck. You're always looking out for me. On Buck's suggestion, I crafted and applied the sharpness enchantment. All my weapons were a lot more effective after that. From day 27 to day 31, I got more good news from Buck.
Zozo, come take a look. I've been doing some more work on the statue, and I think you're going to love it.
Ah, that's so exciting. I can't wait to see. I ran out and took a look at the statue. It wasn't done yet, but it was coming along so well. Buck really had a gift for making statues. This looks amazing, Buck. I can't wait to see what it'll be when it's done.
That's actually something I wanted to talk to you about, Zozo. The statue is coming along great, but it needs something else. Think you can go get some for me?
No problem, Buck. I'll set off immediately. Buck told me what he needed and sent me off to the west. I headed out with my iron pickaxe, ready to mine like my life depended on it. It didn't take me long to find the blocks that Buck needed, but there was a wither there waiting for me. Nothing is ever easy around here. I took a few wither skulls, but soon managed to use my claws to turn the tide of the battle. Once the wither was gone, I mined the blocks and went back to my base. Buck was waiting for me. Here, Buck, take these.
Thanks, Zozo. This is exactly what I needed.
From day 32 to day 35, I went out exploring again, wanting to increase my strength and confidence. If there were any quests for me to take, I'd be happy to take them. But my confidence was shaken a little by a huge creeper spider suddenly skittering towards me. This is not how I wanted to spend today. I ran away as the creeper spider exploded, taking out a bunch of blocks beneath it, but thankfully not me. Creepers are one of those problems that take care of themselves. While I was wandering around the explosion-scarred area, I saw another strange creature, a rabbit wolf, hopping around and looking worried. Are you okay, Miss Rabbit Wolf?
The truth is, no! Things are awful right now.
Awful? Oh no! What happened? Is there any way I could help?
My friend, the rabbit, was kidnapped by the Crimson Phantom. He's a local weirdo who thinks he's a supervillain. And if we don't save the rabbit soon, who knows what will happen?
We'll never have to find out. Wait here, I'm gonna go save your rabbit friend. And with that, I flew off, ready to become a hero. From day 36 to day 39, I arrived at the location where the wannabe supervillain, the Crimson Phantom, was holding the rabbit. He was every bit as weird as the wolf rabbit had told me.
It is I, the Crimson Phantom, the Lord of Darkness. I am the most powerful and evil villain in the overworld, and nothing will stop me from taking control. I'm number one.
But isn't Chad the fire dragon #1?
Oh no, Chad, is he here?
No, he's not here. I was just talking figuratively.
Phew, that's a relief. Almost lost my cool there.
Hearing all of that gave me an idea. The Crimson Phantom may not be afraid of me, but he was definitely afraid of our mutual enemy, Chad the Fire Dragon. Maybe Chad can be useful for once. From day 40 to day 43, I flew out towards the Crimson Phantom and the captured rabbit, trying to look as intimidating as possible. Both of them turned to look at me as I approached.
Begone, fat dragon, for I am the Crimson Phantom, the vilest villain in all of the overworld, and this rabbit belongs to me.
Fool! I work for his Chadness, Chad the Fire Dragon, and he is extremely displeased that you're out here tarnishing his rad name.
Oh no, please tell his Chadness I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause any offense. I'll do whatever he wants, I promise.
You'll give up the rabbit and let her go. His Chadness requests your presence.
Of course, Wait, Fat Dragon? Chad's been making fun of you on his Dragon Insta for weeks now. You're not with him, you're trying to trick me.
You can't blame me for trying. With my plan foiled, I attacked the Crimson Phantom with my powerful claws. Despite all his bragging, he was one of the easiest enemies I'd ever defeated.
You saved me. Thank you so much. I was worried I'd never get away from that awful villain.
Don't thank me, Rabbit. You've got a friend who cares a lot about you. As if on cue, the Rabbit Wolf hopped in.
Thank you for all you've done, Zozo. Here, take this potion of swiftness. It's the least I could do. You're a true hero.
Oh, stop it. You're gonna make me cry. From day 44 to day 49, I gave more materials to Buck the Black Hippogriff so he could continue work on the statue.
Great job, Zozo! You're really pulling your weight with this project.
I'll take that as a compliment, considering how much my weight is.
I mean it, buddy. You're a kind and reliable person. Anyone would be lucky to have you as a friend.
Thanks, Buck. Now I feel like $1,000,000.
There's only one me, Zozo. Just like there's only one you.
That's deep, but you knew what I meant. I let Buck continue working on the statue and realized that I was hungry. After all the quests I'd been doing, I had really worked up an appetite. It was time to add something to the base in order to help out with that. A proper kitchen. I'd craft a couple of cooking surfaces and shelves to store ingredients. That way, I'd be able to make the most nutritious meals when I was in the mood for food. It's like they always say, never trust a skinny cook and always trust a fat dragon cook. Once I had completed the kitchen, I went back to see how Buck was doing on the statue. It was starting to look even more like what it was supposed to be. I couldn't wait to see how it would look when it was done. From day 50 to day 53, I was minding my own business at the base when Chad the Fire Dragon decided to rear his big, overinflated head.
Oh, hey, Chubster. Still your lame, roly-poly self, I see. Lucky for you, the Chadmeister decided to take some time out of his busy Insta schedule to instigate a little one-on-one conflict.
Leave me alone already, Chad. I'll fight if I have to, but I didn't wake up this morning choosing violence.
Too bad, because Chad the Cool and Rad always chooses to dunk on losers. By the way, when I said one-on-one, I meant one-on-several, because I've brought my fans with me.
It was true. Chad had rolled up with a bunch of fire guardians who listened to everything he said. They must have been followers by nature. How is it fair to outnumber me, Chad? At least fight your own battles if you're gonna be a bully.
Well, sorry. There's so much of you to go around that I thought I should bring more guys. Get up, boys.
Chad's fire guardians tried to gang up on me, but I was a fighter now, so I shredded through them with my claws. I was so focused on the fight that I almost didn't see Chad and the other guardians kidnap Buck from the base.
Zozo, win that fight and come save me. I know you can.
Buck, how low does Chad want to go in order to ruin my life? I took down the rest of the attacking fire guardians like Buck said, and I felt my confidence rising. I grew larger and obtained 60 hearts. I could also breathe out a big blast of fire. Looks like Chad isn't the only one with fire around here. With that, I also set the front yard on fire. From day 54 to day 57, I spent some time putting out the fires left over from the attack on the base. They sure did set a big part of my base on fire, but it didn't bother me that much because I could easily extinguish it. Once I had extinguished the fire, I thought about the one thing I couldn't repair. I need to get Buck back. He always stuck up for me, so I want to do the same for him. I went to the desert to go visit Miss Rabbit Wolf. I knew a thing or two about friendship. And because I helped her rescue her friend not too long ago, she would probably help me rescue mine.
I'm so sorry that Buck got taken away by Chad's henchmen. I know exactly how that feels.
I want to do something about it, but I don't know where to begin.
Why don't you try checking the selfies that Chad posts? There's got to be something in the background that could help you find out where he's taken Buck.
That's a good idea. He posts pictures of where he is all the time. It should be easy to find his evil lair from that.
You can turn his false confidence into a real weakness.
Thanks, Rabbit Wolf. From day 58 to day 62, I went mining for diamonds so I could upgrade my tools. I'm a confident dragon, and I deserve to treat myself to nicer things. Of course, not everyone in the mine agreed with me on that point. There were a bunch of warped phantoms swarming around where I was trying to dig. I could use my fire breath to scatter them, but they'd always come back. This seems like more of a task for my claws. Can't a dragon mine in peace? Once I'd cleared out all the warped phantoms, I was able to gather a good amount of diamonds from the cave. I crafted a diamond sword and a diamond pickaxe, both of which would come in handy when the time came for me to go rescue Buck from the clutches of Chad. From day 63 to day 66, I was looking at the unfinished statue and feeling sad that Buck couldn't be here. The two of us had been working together on the statue for a long time now, and seeing that it was unfinished was a reminder that without him, I'd never see what the statue could become. I thought about working on it myself, but that wouldn't do any good. Buck is counting on me to rescue him from Chad. I couldn't back down from facing that terrible bully. For now, the statue needs to wait. Hang on, Buck. I'm gonna find you, wherever you are. And if you want to find more of my awesome adventures, make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you'll always be able to. From day 67 to day 70, I found a place that looked a lot like where Chad the Fire Dragon took many of his selfies. The Crimson Gardens were definitely red, like one might expect for a fire dragon, and there also seemed to be a huge lair designed to show off. That's gotta be Chad's pad. As I approached, I noticed that there were a bunch of fire guardians hanging around outside. My guess had to be correct, since those mobs would do anything for Chad's attention, including trying to keep me out of Chad's pad. I knew I was looking at a fight if I tried to get past them. Hey, you guys, is my friend inside there? The fire guardian said nothing and charged me all at once. I knew fire breath wouldn't do any good against creatures of pure fire, so I stuck to melee attacks. Thanks to my increased health, even fighting this many fire guardians wasn't much of a problem. It was true that I'd gotten even bigger and stronger since my other fight with Chad's minions. I'm not just fat, I'm large and in charge. I was able to battle my way through the inside of Chad's pad. I just knew my friend was in here somewhere. From day 71 to day 74, I explored Chad's pad and fought off more of the fire guardians as I did. This base is gigantic. Chad must really enjoy having a lot of space that he doesn't need, all to himself. While I was sneaking around, I saw Chad. He must have been finished taking selfies in a nearby room. Oh yeah, Chad rules! The camera loves Chad, and so does everyone else. And Chad! He seemed to be really into his routine at the moment, and it felt awkward to interrupt him. I came here to rescue Buck, not to pick a fight, so I just let him continue bigging himself up. Of course, I couldn't help myself from sneaking some potions of healing from one of his pad's chests. He won't miss it, and besides, he's hurt me enough times that one little potion is the least of what he'd need to do to make up for it. From day 75 to day 78, I managed to find the dungeon where Chad had been keeping Buck. It was time for a good old-fashioned prison break.
Zozo, you made it! I always knew you had it in you, friend.
Thanks, Buck. It was hard making it all the way here without your kind words, but I was still able to do it because I've got confidence in myself now. I used my fire breath to destroy the bars of the prison, setting Buck free.
Nicely done. Now let's get out of here. Whoa! Who said you could leave? Chad didn't, and if Chad didn't, it doesn't matter who did. Chad.
Oh no, it was Chad! There was only one thing I could think of to make sure that Buck would be safe from this kidnapping bully jerk. Get out of here, Buck. I'll catch up with you after Chad and I have a talk. With that, Buck ran off, leaving me alone to take on Chad.
Like Chad would talk to you for any reason other than reminding you that you're totally stupid looking.
Actually, I meant talk as in fight. Let's work things out like dragons with our claws and fire breath.
Can't get enough of Chad's fire breath? Okay, you asked for it.
Chad breathed his fire blast at me, but I returned with my own. He was surprised that I could do what he did, but that made sense because he always underestimated me. We started to fight with our claws, and even more than the previous time I was holding my own. I got several good hits in on him before he started to show a little bit of nervousness. What's the matter, Chad? Not able to pretend as well as you normally do?
As if Chad needs to pretend. I'm the real deal, lame-o. Check this out.
From day 79 to day 84, Chad flexed his dragon muscles and totally hulked out into a super beast of a dragon!
Oh yeah, Chad was already the best, but now you can say hello to the even better Super Mega Ultra Deluxe Chadmeister Supreme!
Yikes! I didn't expect he'd have another form!
Chad totally could have beaten you in his regular form. Chad just didn't feel like it.
Right, so you transformed for absolutely no reason at all. I'm really not sure I believe you, but I'm also really afraid of your new form. I ran away as fast as I could. Behind me, I could hear Chad laughing and calling me more mean names. We would see who would be laughing the next time we met, but this time it was definitely Chad who would be laughing. From day 85 to day 89, I returned to base and found that Buck had already made his way back there before me. I was really glad to see him home. The base had not felt the same without him.
Did I miss anything, Zozo? I was gone for a long time at Chad's pad. That fire dragon was so annoying and talking about himself the whole time. I'm really glad to be back.
I'm glad to hear it, Buck. Sorry you had to go through all that.
It wasn't all bad. I did manage to swipe some relaxation supplies from Chad's relaxation room. I bet we could turn these into a room of our own.
That sounds awesome. I love relaxation. I got to work on upgrading the base with a brand new relaxation room, while Buck chose to make up for lost time and work on the base's statue. I made sure to put all the right details into the relaxation room, including lots of couches for Buck and I to lounge around on. I bet both of us will really appreciate the work I've done on this room after Buck is done putting together that statue. When I was done with the relaxation room, I went to see the statue and found that it looked absolutely incredible. It was only a statue of me, but I never looked at myself so proudly before.
Remember how you feel about yourself at this moment, Zozo. That confidence in who you are, recognizing your own best qualities, is the key to defeating Chad.
I did almost have him last time, but he's got this new super duper form now, and I think he's gonna knock me out the next time I see him.
In that case, you just take what you already like about yourself and make it even more powerful. There's a spell you can cast that will bring your inner strength to the surface. Show him who you really are!
From day 90 to day 94, I sought out the Book of Spells, which was said to contain a spell that would bring my inner strength to the surface. It was located inside of a deep cave that was full of wither spiders. There was a time not so long ago that I wouldn't have dared to fight for myself, especially against such powerful mobs. But if what Buck said about this spell was true, then I couldn't wait to get my inner strength on. I'm becoming more like who I want to be every single day, and there's nothing that some bully can say that would make me feel like I'm less than that. The wither spiders had powerful attacks and could shoot deadly wither skulls, but with my chubby body and huge amount of hearts, I could withstand equally huge amounts of damage. Big is beautiful! I burned the spiders away with my fire breath and found my way to the Book of Spells. This must be the right one. I'll read it when I get back home. From day 95 to day 97, I was back at base, preparing for my showdown with Chad. I was determined to use everything that I had in order to win this fight and overcome that bully once and for all. I knew that I'd be having the fight at his place, so instead of doing any sort of upgrades on my base, I focused on what I would need to do to fight at my best. Potions are the way to go. I can drink a lot of those at once to give myself an advantage. First up was a standard potion of strength to increase the damage of my claws attacks. Second, I chose a potion of regeneration so I could get even more use out of my high amount of hearts. And the third potion that I picked was a potion of fire resistance. Chad is always bragging about his fire, but this should take the heat off of me. On day 98, I decided to relax so that I wouldn't stress out too much about the impending fight I was going to have with Chad. I couldn't let him get into my head, so I made sure to fill my brain with fun and positive feelings. And if you want to feel fun and positive too, you should type ZOZO into the search bar so you can find more of my videos. Also, while it's just us relaxing, go ahead and leave a comment about what I should be next. On day 99, it was time to settle my score with Chad once and for all time. I walked through the Crimson Gardens and straight inside Chad's pad. That mean and nasty fire dragon himself was lying in wait, and he was still in his tricked out new form.
Back for more, you little dragon tender? Chad is better than Chad has ever been. This new form is totally awesome, and definitely better than anything you could do.
I now understand why you decided to take that form, Chad.
'Cause I'm a beast like that?
No, it's because you have something to prove. You may have scared everybody else, but I was able to rattle that fake confidence of yours. You're the one who is actually scared, Chad.
What? No, you don't know what you're talking about. Chad is the man, or the dragon man. Actually, I'm just a dragon.
Yes, and I'm just a fat dragon who's got inner strength. I downed my potions and used the Book of Spells to cast the Spell of Power and unleash my inner strength. My heart rose to 100, and I now had a mighty tail slap attack. Ready to throw down, Chad.
Chad is having second thoughts. I mean, now Chad's the best. Chad will take you out in any form, Tubbo.
The fight began, and I whipped him with my new tail slap. He tried his fire breath, of course, but I was resistant. Your fire can't hurt me anymore, and neither can your words. I gave him serious claw strikes and even more tail slaps. Then I unleashed my own fire breath.
No way. You can't be fire. Chad is fire. Chad is fire as fire.
Not anymore. Then I tail slapped Chad one more time, and he was done bothering me. On day 100, I was once again relaxing at the base with Buck the Black Hippogriff. Chad won't bother me or anyone again. I really taught him a lesson.
You sure did stand up for yourself, Zozo. And you never let anyone tell you who you should be or how you should look.
You said it, Buck. I'm the best at being me, and that's what counts, more than anything else. On day 1, I spawned into the deep dark forest as a skeleton dragon, one of the coolest and spookiest kinds of dragons there is. Well, I guess I'm more of a baby skeleton dragon. I must have just come out of the skeleton altar. That's gotta be why I only have 3 hearts. And what's this in my inventory? A void worm eye? What would I use that for? That's when I saw a skeleton horse riding out of the trees towards me. For some reason, she looked worried.
What are you doing here, baby skeleton dragon?
I just got here. My name's Zozo. What's going on?
It's dangerous to be in this forest at night. We need to get out of here.
Before I could ask any more questions, I saw shadows in the dark between the trees. And suddenly, I felt uneasy.
Zozo, we have to leave. Now! Mr. Dark is here.
Mr. Dark? Who's Mr.? A tall, shadowy figure appeared in the trees behind us. At first, all I could see was his glowing purple eyes.
No need to run away. Why don't you come with me, little ones? I'll take you to Playland. We'll have toys and games and candy. I just know you're going to love it.
I knew in my dragon bones I couldn't trust this man. He creeped me out just standing near him. So me and the skeleton horse ran away as fast as we could.
You can run, little ones, but I'll take you all to Playland soon.
We took refuge in a nearby cave to wait out the rest of the night, worried Mr. Dark might find us at any moment. What's your name, skeleton horse?
Sally. I'm Sally the Skeleton Horse.
Thanks for the save, Sally. On day 2, Sally the skeleton horse and I emerged from the cave with the sun shining high up above.
We're safer during the daytime. I've only ever seen Mr. Dark under the moonlight.
We decided, with a little less pressure on us, to start exploring the rest of the forest. It definitely wasn't so scary with the sun shining in through the trees. Maybe we should collect some apples.
That's a good idea, Zozo. A skeleton horse is still a horse, and I love apples.
We happily collected apples until a huge shape came lumbering out of the dark. It was a skeleton dragon, a huge adult skeleton dragon with black bones. Oh wow! Hey, Mr. Skeleton Dragon, I'm Zozo, and I'm one of your kind. The adult skeleton dragon seemed relieved to see me.
Oh, thank goodness. I've been looking for you everywhere. I'm in terrible trouble, and I need the help of another skeleton dragon. I just didn't expect you to be so small.
I may be small, but I've got a big heart. How can I help you?
A friend of mine, the blue skeleton dragon, was taken by something. Some tall, shadowy entity, and I need help in getting him back.
That sounds just like Mr. Dark.
He terrorized us too, but don't worry, we'll help you get your friend back from Mr. Dark no matter what.
Thank you, Zozo and friend. For now, I must go. Stay safe.
The adult skeleton dragon flew away, leaving me and Sally alone. It was time to work on our first base, so we started breaking down trees and collecting sticks and wood. I was able to build a crafting bench and made my first set of wooden tools and weapons. These would be perfect for my first base. We found a clearing in the forest and started building ourselves a humble wooden shack with one bed and a stable outside. But all the while, Sally looked a little concerned. What's wrong, Sally?
That skeleton dragon's friend. We better work hard at getting him back. Mr. Dark only keeps people at Playland for 100 days. After that, well, you don't want to know.
And she was right. I really didn't. On day 3, I was wandering through the forest looking for apples to eat and more supplies that I could use to upgrade my base. Nothing like fresh air and a walk to make a morning happy and healthy. But during my walk, I saw a hulking figure behind the trees, a mutant skeleton. He looked big and a little scary, so when he turned around and looked at me, I ran for the hills. Not today, mutant skeleton. I returned to my base, where I felt a lot safer and started mining into a nearby hill to gather some stone. Then, I made my first set of stone tools, a stone sword, and even started building a sturdy stone wall around my base. But as I was building my wall, I was suddenly approached by an angry-looking gang of rogue tomatoes. They somehow looked both silly and like they meant business.
Don't you laugh at us, bub, or I'm gonna give you a knuckle sandwich with extra ketchup, you hear?
Those were fighting words, so I decided it was time to give my brand new stone sword some action. If it's a tussle you want, it's a tussle you'll get, tomatoes! I fought them all, making short work of them with my stone sword. And after their defeat, one of them dropped a milk bucket. Guess I'll just keep this, in case it comes in handy. That's when I looked up and noticed it was getting dark. I'd need to finish the wall another day. I definitely didn't want to get stuck outside while Mr. Dark was on the prowl. Instead, I went back to my bedroom and got a good night's sleep. On days 4 and 5, I woke up to the sound of Sally the skeleton horse entering my room. Hey, Sally, what's up?
Zozo, I noticed you brought back a milk bucket last night. You should drink it. Milk contains calcium, and calcium is good for your bones. It's the perfect way for a skeleton dragon to get stronger.
That sounded like a great idea, so I chugged the milk and immediately found myself getting stronger. I grew to a big, tougher form with 6 hearts rather than 3. This is more like it. I'm gonna go take a walk in my new form.
I'll finish up the wall while you're out.
So that's what I did. But this time, I didn't want to just walk through the forest. I went all the way to the desert so I could feel the heat on my bones. Sun and skeletons go together like peanut butter and jelly. I turned and saw a wither skeleton further out into the desert. He seemed to be fishing in a pond. I couldn't believe how many friendly skeletons I was running into these days. I made my way over the small hill to him.
Enjoying the sun, fellow skeleton?
Want to come back to my base and hang out with me and my horse friend, Mr. Wither Skeleton? We're putting together a group to help save an innocent skeleton dragon from an evil man.
Sounds good to me, brother. Let's boogie.
The Wither Skeleton and I traveled back to the base together, and we came back just in time because a big, angry Ravager was trying to break down my defensive wall. Uh-oh. Want to help me run off this nasty customer, Wither Skeleton?
Heck yeah, let's do it.
With the both of us ready to fight, the Ravager was outmanned. We didn't manage to defeat it, but it did run away. By then, it was already almost nightfall. We needed to get some sleep, in case Mr. Dark came out looking for us. I installed a second bed in my cabin, as well as some more furniture, and invited the Wither Skeleton to come stay with us.
Sounds good to me, brother. Sleepover time.
On days 6 through 8, me and the Wither Skeleton went out into the forest and collected some more yummy apples. But that wasn't all we were looking for. We found the same cave that Sally and I had hidden in the first night I arrived here. It's mining time! And then I mined all over that cave. It didn't take me long to find enough iron and coal to smell myself some new weapons and tools. Iron weapons, iron tools, I'm really moving up in the world. After leaving the cave with our loot and returning to the forest, we were suddenly ambushed by the same Ravager, looking for revenge. Be ready to fight, Wither Skeleton. This won't be easy.
I was born ready, Zozo.
But sadly, he wasn't actually born ready. That Ravager was way stronger than we thought. We fought the Ravager until it was defeated, but the Wither Skeleton was destroyed in the process. Wither Skeleton, no, I'll never forget you. He dropped his hat, which I decided to take with me. He had also dropped a flint and steel, a useful item for lighting fires. On the way back to my base, I encountered a soul vulture hanging out amongst the trees. Hey, Mr. Soul Vulture, wanna come back to my base? I figure us Bone Brothers should stick together.
Is it cozy?
The coziest in all the forest.
Well, I can hardly say no to that, can I?
The Soul Vulture came back to my base with me, where I built him his own room. I also used some of my excess iron to create an iron golem to guard the base. Now I can sleep a little easier. On days 9 to 10, I was woken up in the middle of the night by something scratching my window. I looked up and saw Mr. Dark, his bright purple eyes staring in through my window. He was so creepy, I could barely stand it. Mr. Dark, how did you get past my guard wall and my iron golem? Mr. Dark gave a creepy little giggle.
I can go anywhere I want, at any time I want, Zozo. No walls are too high, no trenches are too deep, and no golem is too strong. If I wanted to, I could open your door and walk into your bedroom right now.
Then why don't you?
Because where'd be the fun in that? Silly little dragon boy, you'll choose to come to Playland with me. I just know you will, and you'll have a wonderful time. I'll be keeping my eye on you, Zozo. I'll come back when you least expect it, and then you'll be all mine.
Then he disappeared, and I couldn't get back to sleep for the rest of the night. On days 11 through 12, still feeling shaken up from my encounter with Mr. Dark the night before, I decided to build some base improvements. I made the wall taller and started digging a trench around the outside of the wall, so the only way to get in or out would be the front gate, guarded by my iron golem. This should keep that nasty midnight creep away. After my work was done, Sally the skeleton horse approached me with a suggestion.
Zozo, you should train yourself and get stronger by visiting new biomes. How about a trip to the beach?
Yeah, I could use a trip to the beach after a week like this. I made my way to the beach with Sally for a mixture of relaxation and hardcore strength training. And it didn't take long for us to need it, because a bunch of angry iron chickens started attacking us.
We're the iron chicken muggers, and believe us, we can be pretty foul. So you better hand over all your bucks.
Thankfully, with Sally and I working together, we were able to defeat the iron chicken muggers and keep all of our hard-earned money.
This kind of thing is exactly why I hate chickens.
We kept exploring until we found another skeleton friend, a skeleton deer. So of course, I invited her back to my base.
Gee, thanks. I'd love a new place to stay. I've been getting tired of all this sand.
The skeleton deer followed us back to the base, where I built her a new section of the stable to sleep in.
This is so comfy. Thanks, Zozo.
Don't mention it, skeleton deer.
And by the way, I saw you fighting the iron chickens. You were good, but if you want to get better, I recommend seeking out the necromancer. He can mentor you to greatness.
The necromancer? That sounds like a plan. On days 13 to 15, I left my base and began searching the forest for the necromancer. I'm sick of being afraid and hiding away when the bad guys come. I want to be strong enough to be brave and fight back. But it turned out I was talking to myself a little too loudly because an angry stone monster came running at me through the woods. Uh-oh, sorry about the noise. I'm guessing we can't just talk this out. He did not want to talk it out. Instead, he chased me and I ran as fast as I could on my skeleton dragon legs, but he was faster. Oh no, oh no, 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 no! But just as he was about to catch me, something burst out of the tree line as quick as a flash. It was the mutant skeleton I'd run away from earlier. He pulled out his bow and easily defeated the stone monster, really saving my bones. Thank you, mutant skeleton. I'm so sorry for running away earlier. I guess I learned a valuable lesson about judging on appearances.
No problem, Zozo. I know I can look a little scary sometimes, but really, I'm out here trying to help.
Want to come and stay at my base for a while? I'm putting together a team.
I'd love to, but there's too much work to do protecting people out here. Perhaps I'll drop in for a visit sometime, though, eh?
Me and the mutant skeleton went our separate ways, and I continued searching for the fabled necromancer until I saw a gremlin hopping around, looking clearly distressed. What's wrong, little gremlin?
I'm in trouble, man. These, nasty jungle spiders have been chasing me all day, and I'm worried they're gonna get me.
Stand back, little gremlin. This sounds like a job for Zozo. With my trusty sword, I found that nasty swarm of jungle spiders and took them out before returning to the gremlin.
Whoa, Zozo, you're like a real hero. That was awesome.
No problem, little gremlin. Say, you know where I might be able to find a necromancer?
Oh, the necromancer. You'll find him in the west of here. Keep heading in that direction, and you're sure to meet him.
Thank you, Gremlin. That's exactly what I needed to hear. For days 16 to 19, I began my journey west in search of the necromancer, until I heard a terrible crashing noise coming from the distance behind me. It sounded like it was coming from my base. I immediately turned tail and ran all the way back, only to see that my defensive wall had been destroyed, and a dangerous zombie taiga was attacking my base. What are you doing, you meanie?
It's nothing personal, kid. Mr. Doc told me to do this. If I don't hurt you, he'll hurt me. That's just the way it is.
I turned and saw something awful. He'd already destroyed the skeleton deer and the soul vulture. Sally, the skeleton horse, was my only companion left. That's it. You're going down. I pulled out my sword and attacked the zombie taiga, but it seemed like he deflected the hits without any effort. He was almost unstoppable.
That was just embarrassing. If you couldn't defeat me, you'll have no hope against Mr. Dark. I'm out of here.
And with that, the zombie taiga fled, leaving me in the ruins of my base with two of my friends. Gone! I feel useless, like I can't protect anyone. That's when a gang of mossy skeletons turned up. They looked frightened and said they'd heard I'd been offering other skeletons a place to stay. Of course you can stay here, new buddies, but I'm gonna need to make a few renovations first. I built a new barracks on the side of my base for the mossy skeletons to live in. They seemed quite happy with their new place, and I took the time to rebuild some of the defenses that the zombie taiga destroyed. But I can't just defend my base. I need to be able to defend myself too. I mined for more iron and coal until I had everything I needed to smelt myself a new set of iron armor. I may have lost a battle, but I wouldn't lose the war! On days 20 to 22, I left my base to search for some statue building materials. After all, a cool statue is great for inspiring everyone to do their best. But on my way out to mine some stone, I was ambushed by a green troll with an axe to grind. Well, more specifically, he had a giant fist. I've got no interest in feeding any trolls today. With my sword at the ready, we engaged in a tense duel. Thankfully, with my new iron armor, I was able to withstand his attacks and defeat him. Iron and bone beats flesh. Afterwards, I traveled further through the forest until I stumbled upon a desert with the remains of a giant skeleton. Whoa, this is perfect for building a cool statue, and I know exactly what I'll make with them. I started mining the ribs one by one, making sure I didn't fall into the pools of lava. By the end of it, I had all the bone blocks I'd ever need. On the way back, I encountered a herd of wild sheep grazing and decided I'd tame them and lead them back to the base, because you never know when some wool will come in handy. When we reached the base, I made a new, fenced-off section where the sheep could graze and be left to their own devices. And with that out of the way, it was time to start statue building. Laying down the base is one of the most important parts, so the statue doesn't just tumble over. Can you guess what the statue is gonna be yet? Let me know down in the comments. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the forest to search for the necromancer. I needed his teachings to help me get stronger and defeat Mr. Dark. While wandering through the woods, I got attacked by a nasty gang of rotten rats. They tried to bite me and give me some nasty diseases. When it comes to rats versus skeleton dragons, rats don't win. I defeated the last of them with my iron sword and continued searching. On the way, I ran into a wither skeleton jockey riding a spider. He reminded me of the wither skeleton who used to be my friend. Hey, Mr. Wither skeleton jockey, wanna come back and stay at my base?
Nice offer, but no thanks. There are some evil things lurking in these woods, and I've learned not to trust anyone. Maybe some other time.
All right, suit yourself. Stay safe out there. It felt like the day had been a total waste as I journeyed further into the forest. But just as I was ready to give up, I saw the necromancer himself sitting on a rock and meditating. No way! The necromancer! Is it really you?
Those who seek me will find me, little skeleton dragon. And I assume you've been seeking me.
I have. I want you to mentor me and help me become more powerful.
Well, young dragon, with great power comes great... Well, you have to have a good reason to have great power. So, what is your reason?
I don't need it for myself. I need it to defeat Mr. Dark and save everyone he's captured.
That, little dragon, is a good reason. Your training begins now.
For days 27 to 31, the necromancer gave me my first challenge.
To defeat an entity as evil and spooky as Mr. Dark, you need to learn to conquer your fear. It's okay to be afraid, Zozo, but true courage is knowing that there are some things you must do, even if they make you feel afraid.
What would you have me do, Master Necromancer?
Do you see that nearby cave? It contains a monster. I want you to go in there and defeat it to help gain control of your fear. If you complete this first challenge, I'll give you a reward.
I believe in myself. I can do it.
Good, and you can take this bat to help you. It will freeze your opponents for 3 seconds. May it come in handy.
I took the necromancer's bat and went into the cave. It was dark and scary, and I could feel myself getting nervous, but I took deep breaths and kept going. I needed to strengthen my courage to defeat Mr. Dark. The deeper parts of the cave weren't any better, only some lichen and mushrooms giving off faint light. Suddenly, a scary, growling soul eater leaped out of the darkness toward me, ready to attack. I stayed calm and hit the creature with my bat, studying it. I'd passed the test. Okay, now it's time to get out of here. On days 32 to 35, my new mentor rewarded me for passing the first challenge by giving me a potion of strength. I immediately drank it and felt myself getting bigger and tougher. This training was really paying off. I have to be at least twice the size I once was. This whole thing made me feel so happy, I decided I'd go back to my base and tell the mossy skeletons and Sally the skeleton horse about my victory. And on the way, I encountered the wither skeleton jockey that I'd met a few days before. Hey, jockey! Have you had any second thoughts about coming to my base?
Well, now that you mention it, I have been getting some eerie vibes lately. Maybe we should stick together after all.
But those eerie vibes didn't come from nothing. Neither of us noticed it, but the day had gotten away from us. The sun was going down, and the night was upon us. That's when Mr. Dark himself came creeping out of the trees.
Ooh, new friends! I'll take you to Playland with me. We'll have so much fun.
He grabbed the wither skeleton jockey with his long, spindly arms.
Zozo, help me! I'm being kidnapped!
But I couldn't help him. Mr. Dark was too fast and too strong, and all I could do was run. My base may have been the only place that was safe at night. On the way back, I encountered an ancient spirit villager who started chasing me, and I was too afraid to even fight him. I just ran away. All that training, useless. I don't know if I'll ever be able to defeat Mr. Dark. On days 36 to 39, I woke up and took the jockey spider to the stable when I heard noise coming from my front gate. I made my way over to see a familiar face waiting outside of my base. It was the same zombie taiga who attacked my base and destroyed soul vulture and skeleton deer. This time, he's going down. I ran out, ready to fight. This time, I had full iron armor, so the zombie taiga's attacks weren't nearly as strong.
What sorcery is this? Mr. Dark told me you'd be easy to defeat. This isn't fair.
With the help of my new strength and the bat that the necromancer had given me, I defeated the zombie taiga and avenged my fallen friends. Speaking of friends, Sally the skeleton horse approached me with a wonderful idea.
Zozo, we should make our way to the Stone Shores. I've heard that some of the friendlies over there have created some awesome upgrades.
Oh really? Then there's no time to waste. We hightailed it over to the Stone Shores, where we saw an innocent skeleton being hassled by an ogre. We couldn't let that stand. Get away from that skelly! Sally and I charged in, and that was enough to scare the ogre away. He seemed thankful and gave us 2 rewards, the knockback upgrade, which increased the power of my weapons, and a treasure map. You hear that, Sally? We can use this to search for buried treasure.
Now that sounds like a cool adventure to me, Zozo. Let's do it.
For days 40 to 43, Sally and I followed the map until we arrived in the warm, dusty Badlands. We were getting a little nervous because it was almost nightfall. We were right about that, but we didn't consider that Mr. Dark might send his minions to do the job for him.
Look out, Zozo! Some night apparitions are coming straight towards us.
Sally was right. 3 big, scary night apparitions. I pulled out my sword, now with increased knockback, and fought them off. They were tough, but luckily, Sally and I made a good team, and we were able to defeat 2 of the 3. The last one escaped to fight another day. Let's keep going, Sally. According to this map, we're really close to finding the buried treasure. Soon enough, we we found an area of the ground with a big red X marked on it.
Don't they always say X marks the spot, Zozo? Let's start digging.
We mined down into the ground until we found a buried chest. And inside, there were a whole bunch of rubies. This is awesome! I know exactly what I'm going to use them for. On days 44 to 49, I continued my work on the statue. It was really coming along now. Can you see what I'm making now? I bet you can't guess. But while I was working on my statue, I saw a trader on a horse making his way through the forest near my base and decided to strike up a conversation. Hey, Mr. Trader, got anything cool on offer?
It's your lucky day, dear customer, because I'm actually doing a 2-for-1 special on netherite ingots today. It's a rare and very valuable material. Perfect for a skeleton dragon like you.
That sounds so cool. How much?
I only take payment in emeralds. But don't worry, if you haven't got any, you can always raid the emerald mines of Alonia near here. They got abandoned by the workers when the boss decided not to pay them enough, so all the emeralds were left for the taking.
I really wanted those netherite ingots, even though I didn't really know what I'd use them for. So I journeyed to the mines and collected as many emeralds as I could from underground. Netherite City? Here I come! I traveled back to my base and made the trade. The trader gave me my 2 netherite ingots and rode off.
Pleasure doing business with you, Zozo.
But I didn't have long to enjoy my fancy new ingots. As night fell, the third and final night apparition came back for revenge, and I needed to run out beyond the wall to take it on. You guys don't know when to quit, do you? Soon enough, I defeated the night apparition, but it made me realize that my base needed better defenses. If these monsters in Mr. Dark mainly come out at night, maybe they hate the light. Perhaps adding some torches to my wall would help ward them off. On days 50 to 53, I realized something horrible. The night apparition attack had just been a distraction, while someone else had sneaked into the stable and kidnapped Sally the skeleton horse. I ran to my mentor, the necromancer, deep in the forest, and asked him where Mr. Dark's forces may have taken my best friend.
Well, Zozo, I hate to tell you this, but it's likely that Mr. Dark's minions will be taking your friend to the Twisted Kingdom he calls Playland.
But where can I find that?
Even I don't know exactly, but my senses tell me that you should travel to the east. Your answers lay there.
There was no time to waste. I didn't want Sally to get trapped in Playland, just like the other skeleton dragon's friend, so I immediately set off to the east, hoping to find her. But on my way, I was suddenly ambushed by a zombie Spartan, ready to fight. But unlucky for him, I was ready to fight too. Nothing is going to stand in the way of me rescuing my friend. The zombie Spartan was tough, but I had the power of friendship on my side. It didn't take me long to strike him to submission with my enchanted sword. In his defeat, the zombie Spartan dropped something, 2 voidworm mandibles. I already have a voidworm eye. I better take them. They might come in handy. On days 54 to 57, having defeated the zombie Spartan, I continued searching for Sally the skeleton horse, and my search soon led me to a deep cave. Suddenly, it felt like everything got much darker around me. I'm never going to let Mr. Dark take you to Playland, Sally.
That isn't your choice, Zozo.
I turned and saw one of the shadows in the cave moving with bright purple eyes. It was him, Mr. Dark, standing right behind me.
Do you want to come to Playland with me now?
What did you do with her? I swung my sword and Mr. Dark teleported out of the way, appearing right behind me.
She's playing with my friends right now, but later she'll play with me. Do you want to play with us, Zozo?
I tried to hit him again, but Mr. Dark was too fast for me. He hit me with one of his long, spindly arms and knocked me up against the wall, knocking out half of my hearts in one strike.
Still too weak. We'll play again when you're stronger, Zozo. Mark my words.
And then he disappeared, leaving me with nothing. A silver Lobo approached me out of the darkness, looking worried, and gave me some apples to replenish my hearts. Thanks, Silver Lobo. You saved my life here. The Lobo told me about a secret room further into the cave where I might find some vital information. I went deeper into the cave, feeling around on the wall until I felt a button and pressed it, opening a secret door. There was blue fire torches on the wall and an old map left on the table with some locations marked. They must be keeping Sally at one of these locations. On days 58 through 62, I decided I needed to become stronger before I could find the location where they were keeping Sally. First, I went to the diamond mine the Silver Lobo told me about and took the old elevator down. I quickly found some diamonds near the entrance and started mining. I I then saw what looked like an old abandoned mining camp. A chest inside of it had a book with the unbreakable enchantment. I don't think whoever owned this camp would mind if I used the crafting table to make my gear. I made myself a diamond sword and a diamond chestplate to match. I used the nearby anvil to put the unbreakable enchantment on my chestplate. Now this is one of the most powerful pieces of armor around. After that, I returned to my base to continue work on my statue. It's really coming along nicely now. I even got to use all those rubies that Sally and I collected. But I could use some more materials. I went out into the forest to hunt, but in the process, I found something remarkable. A magical, enchanted halo. I decided to try it on and immediately felt its magic empower me. I got stronger and healthier, going up to 14 hearts. Whoa, talk about a functional headwear. As I continued hunting in the forest, I stumbled upon a spider nest. I saw the same gremlin from before, stuck in their webs calling for help. The spiders noticed me and charged towards me. This was the perfect opportunity to test out my new gear, but they were no match for my diamond sword. After I dealt with them, I cut the web holding the gremlin and he fell down. He thanked me for saving him again and ran off into the forest. Next time I take on Mr. Dark, he's in trouble. I went back to my base, feeling a lot more confident, and found that a huge bone serpent was waiting for me. But don't worry, he was friendly.
So, you're the skeleton dragon I've been hearing about. I heard something about this friend of yours. A skeleton horse? You want to find her? I recommend you look for an abandoned house on the plains.
Finally, a break in the case. You're a lifesaver, Bone Serpent, literally. Want to stay at my base?
Well, since you're offering, why not?
I built a new room with a pool where the Bone Serpent can stay. But by then, it was already nighttime. Mr. Dark would be on the prowl. I'd go find Sally first thing in the morning. On day 63 through 66, I was preparing to go on a rescue mission for Sally. But before I could leave, my mentor, the Necromancer, arrived to give me a gift.
Zozo, I wanted to give you a gift before you went on your quest. Mr. Dark is a mutant Enderman, and this dagger will do extra damage against Endermen. But be warned, it'll be incredibly weak against anything that isn't an Enderman.
Thank you, Master Necromancer. These will come in handy. I left my base, passed through the forest, and ventured out onto the plains. This was the exact direction that the Bone Serpent told me to go in. That's when I ran into a group of zombies and decided to test my dagger on them, and it did almost no damage. Wow, Master Necromancer was right. This dagger is useless against things that aren't Endermen. Instead, I pulled out my diamond sword and easily defeated the zombie horde before moving on with my quest. I got distracted again when I saw a villager, dressed like a craftsman standing next to a burning house. He looked like he needed help. Hey mister, I'm Zozo. Can I give you a hand?
Yes, please! My wife is trapped in that burning building, and I'm too old to rescue her myself. Please help me!
I ran into the burning building and found the craftsman's wife waiting inside. Thanks to my training from the Necromancer, I was able to stay cool under pressure and lead the craftsman's wife safely back out. He was delighted to see her.
Thank you, Zozo. I owe you one for this, and I always repay my debts.
On days 67 through 70, I arrived at the abandoned house in the plains where I figured they must be holding Sally. This place looks so spooky, but I need to do the right thing, just like my mentor taught me. I carefully entered the house, trying not to be detected. I noticed that there was a broken end portal inside. That's weird, but I was quickly distracted by the sounds coming from upstairs. I drew my sword and ran upstairs, seeing Sally the skeleton horse locked in one of the rooms. Don't worry, Sally, I'm here to help.
Wait, Zozo, it's a trap.
3 Endermen suddenly appeared all around me. I tried to fight back, but I wasn't fast enough. They kept teleporting and attacking me back. Little by little, I was backed into the corner. It looked like I was a goner until I saw something on the floor. Is that a potion of fortitude? It was. I quickly grabbed it and drank it, and it made me tough enough to collect my thoughts, remembering the gift from my mentor. I pulled out the dagger and charged in. He was definitely right about its strength against Endermen, because soon enough, all 3 were defeated, although I barely survived that. I went to free Sally from the locked room. We celebrated for a moment in the room before I let her out and headed towards home. Let's go and rest, Sally. I've missed you. I shared some of my apples with Sally as we walked home, happy to finally be reunited. On days 71 to 74, with Sally's help, I invited more skeleton horses to my base and let them stay in my stable. though I had to take time to expand the stable so everyone could fit inside. Let me know if it gets too cramped in there. After I'd finished my renovations, I decided to journey down into the diamond mine again and collect more, you guessed it, diamonds. When I returned to my base, I used those diamonds to complete my set of diamond armor and enchant it with the protection enchantment to help improve my chances in an intense fight. When the armor was done, I noticed that I received a letter. Oh, it's the craftsman whose wife I saved from that burning house. He says he wants to meet me in the tavern of a nearby village. That's so exciting! On day 75 to 78, I did as the letter said and traveled to the nearby village. I found the craftsman waiting for me in the village tavern, just like he promised.
Good to see you again, Zozo. After what you did, I've been thinking about a way to repair you. And while I'm not a rich man, as a craftsman, I can give you an idea of mine. If you're able to combine 2 netherite ingots, 2 void worm mandibles, and 1 void worm eye, you could create a dimensional carver, a special pickaxe that can teleport you between locations.
Wait, I have all of those materials. That's incredible! I can build one right now. Thank you, Mr. Craftsman. I made my way over to a nearby crafting bench and made myself a dimensional carver and gave it a practice swing. Boom! I was teleported to the village outskirts with a group of great beasts charging at me. Uh-oh, better get out of here. I swung the dimensional carver again and boom, I was back in my base. Wow, this tool is amazing, though I'll save it for emergencies in the future. On days 79 through 84, I started building a new storage shed for extra supplies in my base. You never know when you'll need the extra storage space. Then, I made a full set of armor for Sally, so she could be better protected when she's wandering through the forest.
This is great, Zozo. Thank you.
But then, I was running low on materials, especially stone and wood, so I decided to head out into the forest to cut down some trees and mine some more stone. While I was mining and lumberjacking, a passing mage noticed me and approached.
Excuse me, young skeleton dragon, but would you happen to be Zozo?
That depends. Do you work for Mr. Dark?
Well, I used to, and there's something I want to get off my chest. You have to understand, Mr. Dark is pure evil. If ever there was good in him, it's gone now. You cannot reason with him. You cannot talk to him. The only joy he takes is in making others unhappy. So when you're dealing with him, just be careful. He is not to be messed with.
And with that, the mage left. Guess that's my daily dose of nightmare fuel. On days 85 to 89, I returned to my base from the forest in the late evening, only to find out that the worst had happened. Mr. Dark was attacking my base with a whole gang of soul eaters.
Look, friends, Zozo is back. He's here to join our little playtime.
I want nothing to do with you or your deranged games. I just want you to stop bothering everybody.
Yes, we could do that. Or we could play catch, soul eater, throw.
One of the soul eaters pulled out a javelin and threw it at me. But then something strange happened. Rather than losing hearts, I started to get bigger and stronger. I'd become an evolved skeleton dragon, reaching my full size and going up 20 hearts. Whoa, I guess all that training is finally paying off. Wanna 1v1 me, Mr. Dark?
Why should I have all the fun? My friends want to play with you too. Play with him, soul eaters.
Mr. Dark vanished again, and the soul eaters ran towards me. With my new size and power, it didn't take me long to defeat them, which made me even more frustrated that I couldn't have taken on Mr. Dark there and then. Instead, I had to increase the size of my bedroom. A bigger skeleton dragon needs a bigger place to live. On days 90 to 94, I finally finished my statue. It's a giant, cool skull statue, showing how we skeletons stuck together and stood against the evil of Mr. Dark and his minions. Did you guess what it was before I just told you? Let me know down in the comments. Once the statue was finally done, I decided I'd give some extra training to my best friend, Sally the Skeleton Horse. We trained together on the base grounds by play fighting until she upgraded and became bigger and stronger.
It feels so good to be powerful enough to fend for myself. Thanks, Zozo.
I never would have gotten this far without you, Sally. And after training, Sally took me to her brewing station she had set up to make a bunch of healing potions. You never know when these will come in handy. On day 95 to day 97, I met with the necromancer in the forest. He had some more valuable advice for me.
Zozo, I've heard of the location of a cabin in these woods, once owned by a person who was researching Mr. Dark. You might be able to find some valuable information there.
That definitely seemed like a good lead, so I started searching the woods until I found a rundown old cabin. On the inside, I found a dusty old book inside a chest. Oh, I wonder what secret knowledge is inside. But I didn't have time to read it just yet. Suddenly, the cabin was under attack by a gang of fire elementals who'd come to burn down the cabin. I was lucky to have my diamond armor, or I would have been burned up too. Okay, fire elementals, let's go. I took them on with my diamond sword and defeated them one by one, only getting a little burnt in the process. Great! Now I can finally read this book. The book was filled with frantic notes, including a part that read, Mr. Dark, that maniac. He calls it Playland, but it's nothing like that. There's only death there. It's the end. Nothing but the end. Of course, that explains the broken end portal too. Mr. Dark's Playland is actually the end. On day 98, I prepared the final enchantments for my weapons and armor and met with Sally one last time. She was nice enough to give me some more apples for the trip. I'm going to take on Mr. Dark. I discovered that he's hiding in the end, and without an end portal, I can use my dimensional carver to get there.
You're not going alone, Zozo. I'm coming with you.
But Sally…
But nothing. I saved your butt the first time you came here, and you think I'm gonna let you wander right into Mr. Dark's base? Alone? We started this together, and we're gonna finish it together too.
Well, when you put it like that, I can't exactly say no, can I? But I can say that if you want more exciting adventures like this, you should subscribe to Zozo and find more of our videos by searching ZO on YouTube. I'll really appreciate it. On day 99, Sally and I were ready to take the fight to Mr. Dark and free everyone that was still trapped in Playland.
Let's do this, Zozo. Let's make it so the people of this world never have to fear the night again.
That's what I'm talking about, Sally! Sally stood close to me, and I used the dimensional carver to teleport us all the way to the end so we could storm Playland together. But as soon as we arrived, we were immediately surrounded by a gang of Endermen. I immediately regret this decision.
Yeah, me too!
I pulled out my handy dagger, ready to fight off the Endermen, when I realized that they weren't here for me. They surrounded Sally, too fast for me to stop them, and grabbed her. They teleported away, taking Sally with them to who knows where. Sally, no! I knew why they'd done it. They were working for Mr. Dark, and Mr. Dark wanted me to face him alone. On day 100, I walked deeper into the end alone, looking for Mr. Dark. He didn't seem to be anywhere around here. That's when I noticed a cage containing a skeleton dragon just like me. I'd finally found him. Don't worry, fellow Draggy, I'll get you out of here. I heard an evil laugh behind me, and Mr. Dark appeared.
You've come to play with me, at long last. I knew you would in the end, little one.
I'm not so little anymore. I pulled out my dagger and turned to attack Mr. Dark, but he teleported out of the way and hit me again. He was even stronger than I remembered. Thankfully, I had a spare potion of healing to take to offset the damage.
Play along, Zozo. It's no fun if you don't play.
I tried to attack him again, but it was like fighting smoke. Every time I went for him, he teleported out of the way and attacked me back. It felt like all of my training was for nothing against him. You don't play fair, Mr. Dark.
That's because it's no fun to play like that. And I'm sorry, Zozo, but you're starting to feel awfully boring to me.
I looked behind me and saw that a giant chasm had opened up in the ground behind me. It was so dark down there, I didn't even know if there was a bottom.
You'll find more friends down there, Zozo. You'll never want to leave.
While Mr. Dark was focused on me, I saw a figure charging up behind him. It was Sally, the skeleton horse. And still, Mr. Dark hadn't even noticed her.
Any last words before you go into the dark, Zozo?
Yeah, playtime's over.
What?
Sally the skeleton horse charged into Mr. Dark and knocked him into the bottomless pit. He screamed and fell, never to be seen again.
Can't say I'm gonna miss that creep. Let's save the prisoners and get out of here, Zozo.
You know, that sounds good to me. On day 1, I spawned in as a mutant dragon. Whoa, I'm a dragon, but it looks like I'm a mutant one. I had spawned deep underground in a mine shaft, and I noticed I had an iron pickaxe equipped already. Looks like there's one thing to do, dig. I figured every good dragon needed a treasure hoard, and since I was a mutant dragon, I needed to find some uranium to fill my lair. Most dragons would prefer gold or silver, but uranium is perfect for me. As I was digging, I stumbled on some ore, but a bar guest showed up and attacked me. Wait, I'm just a kid! I was so afraid that I dropped my pickaxe as I ran for it. If I was a full-grown dragon, I could have handled him no problem. But because my mutation was still weak, the only way I could survive was by running. I'm just a hatchling for now, and I only have 4 hearts. I tried to make my way to the surface, but I was intercepted by another bar guest. Oh no, I guess there was more than one. I was boxed in on all sides with no escape.
Ho ho ho! I've got you! Now I can eat this dragon and absorb his mutagens to become unstoppable.
Well, this isn't good. I was dragged away and thrown into a cage. On day 2, the bar guest brought in another prisoner who had also planned on eating. At first, I thought he was a normal rooster, but when I looked again, I realized that he was a cockatrice.
Dinner! Meet the appetizer! We hope you two can get along.
When the bar guests left us alone together inside of the prison, the cockatrice ran around the cage in fear.
Ah! Don't eat me!
It's alright, I might be a little mutated, but I'm a dragon just like you. That means I'm a friend. Call me Zozo.
Oh, thank goodness! Another dragon! I thought I was gonna become a chicken dinner. My name's Rusty.
Nice to meet you. I bet if we work together, we could break out of this place.
Well, I do have the ability to chew through stone. All cockatrices do.
Perfect! Let's do that! Rusty ate through the stone floor of the prison, and we were able to make our escape. But we were soon interrupted by a huge pit with lava at the bottom.
Oh no! We can't go any further!
Don't worry, Rusty. I've got abilities too. I had Rusty get on top of my back, and together we jumped out into the pit. I used my mutant wings to glide slowly towards the opposite side. And just like that, we had made it past the lava pit.
That was impressive, Zozo.
Thanks, Rusty. We stayed underground for a little while longer before Rusty dug us a path back to the surface. We decided to split up for now so that the bar guests would have to do the same to catch us. On day 3, I found myself inside of a strange forest that I didn't recognize. I wasn't sure if I was still in bar guest territory, so I wanted to lay low, but my hunger meter had other plans. I have to eat something, fast! I skulked around the woods and ambushed some cows for meat. It seemed like I was the only mutant animal around, so all the other ones were scared of me. I had to be extra careful if I wanted to hunt successfully. I also picked up some fruits and vegetables because dragons are omnivores. We'll eat anything. Just then, I noticed there was a bizarre creature approaching me.
Greetings.
Who are you?
What? You don't recognize a fellow mutant when you see one?
I'm a mutant dragon. What are you a mutant of?
I am half mutant crab and half mutant brain. Call me Dr. Invertebrain.
I don't get it, but that's okay. I'm Zozo.
You need to listen to me, Zozo. There are a lot of enemies after us mutants right now, and I've got some knowledge that can keep us safe.
How do I know I can trust you?
Because I'm a brain. It's my job to be smart and think of things, so you just leave that part to me. This way.
Then Dr. Invertebrain crab walked deeper into the forest. I wasn't sure if I should follow him, but I felt like I'd be in more danger if I didn't. On days 4 to 5, I caught up with Dr. Invertebrain, and he told me more about the enemies that were coming after mutants like me.
You've probably caught on a little bit, but there are creatures out there that think they can steal our mutant powers by eating us. We mutants can unlock special abilities that no one else has, and because we are so rare, the ones who want our powers will stop at nothing to capture and consume us.
That doesn't sound fun. I'm happy with being a mutant and having unique abilities, but being attacked because of it is going to make my life so much harder.
Mine too. I suggest you try to awaken your greater mutant powers as soon as you can. Those will help protect you against the enemies.
Thanks for the tip, Doc.
One more thing. Here are some stone tools to replace the pickaxe you lost. Yes. Another way to keep safe is to make a base where they can't get to you.
With the new set of stone tools that Dr. Invertebrain had given me in hand, I set off in search of a safe area to build my base. It had to be a place where I could keep a nice treasure hoard, as well as store all the food I had gathered up in the strange forest. I reached a small valley between 2 hills and decided that it would work. I began working on my base straight away, and it was coming together nicely. Eventually, I'll have a nice big lair where I can store all of my belongings. I had barely started when the same bar guest from before showed up again.
You won't escape this time, Zozo.
Suddenly, he attacked with full force, trying to capture me again. I drew my stone sword and tried to fight back, but he was too strong. That's when I remembered what Dr. Invertebrain said to me back in the forest. I have to unlock my greater mutant powers. I concentrated, and seconds later, I was able to use a breath weapon of green energy that blasted the Barghest back. It wasn't fire like you might expect for most dragons, but I wasn't most dragons. I was a mutant dragon, and the Barghest was done for. Suddenly, I felt my dragon powers tingling, and I started to get bigger. And whoa, I've gained 6 more hearts. I felt stronger than ever before. Maybe I could do this after all. On days 6 to 8, I left the base to go search for Rusty. I figured since the Barghest wouldn't be bothering me anymore, he would also want to know. I had a feeling that my problems as a mutant were far from over, but at least I could tell my fellow dragon friend that he was safe. Yes. I wonder what Invertebrate really meant about enemies. It couldn't have been just the Barghest, because they were pushovers once I activated my real powers. This thought stayed with me until I met up with Rusty next to the strange woods. Hey, Rusty!
Zozo!
I took care of those guys that were trying to eat us. We should be safe now.
That's great news, but you should still be careful, Zozo. I've heard that there's a bad guy on the loose who is trying to gain mutant powers the same way that those Barghests wanted to.
Sounds bad. I'll keep my eyes out. Thanks, Rusty. When I got back to my base, Dr. Invertebrate was waiting there. I told him that it was true that there was still a bad guy out there hunting mutants, and he agreed to tell me more.
I too know about this evil hunter of mutants. In fact, I once had to deal with him face to death. His name is Zed, and he is the Duke of Dragons.
The Duke of Dragons? You mean the ruler of dragonkind is after me, even though I'm a dragon?
It makes no difference to Duke Zed whether you are a dragon or not. As long as you are a mutant, he will try to steal your powers. From now on, you must be wary of every dragon you meet.
Did that also include Rusty? I was starting to get worried about our friendship. There has to be a way I can go live with other dragons, even though I've been mutated.
There is one way. If you find a way to pass your mutant powers on to someone else, then Zed would have no reason to come after you.
That might work. Do you have anyone in mind?
I just might, but in order to do it, we need a power transfer stone, which can only be found on Sunny Mountain.
In that case, I'm off to get the stone. On days 9 to 10, I made the trip out to Sunny Mountain to seek out the power transfer stone that Dr. Invertebrate had told me about. I had to find a way to become a normal dragon so I wouldn't have to worry about people trying to steal my mutant powers. The path up the mountain had no trees, so the sun was beating down directly on me. Now I know where the name comes from. Farther along, I noticed a ruined set of standing stones, and I thought that maybe that was where the power transfer stone was. I went over to investigate, and a Geonock appeared.
So, another mutant has come to claim the power transfer stone. Dream on! I am the stone's protector, and you should turn back now.
No way! Getting that stone is super important to me. If I have to fight you for it, then consider this battle begun. I unleashed my breath attack, but the Geonock seemed resilient to my mutant powers. I realized I would have to use my sword for this, but it was stone against stone, so it wasn't doing anything either.
Will you not turn back, even though it is futile?
Of course not. I will never give up.
Then perish.
You first.
Right when I needed help the most, a sunbird swooped down and gave the Geonock the hot foot with its fire breath. The Geonock's outer layer started to weaken, so I hit him with my sword until the battle was over. I went to retrieve the power transfer stone from the standing rock formation, and then I thanked the sunbird that had helped me. We flew down the mountain together, stopping at the bottom of it for a quick chat. Thanks for the help. I'm Zozo.
I am Tibernius, the winged warrior, and I am on a quest to find the next Duke of the Dragons. I saw that you were a dragon in danger, so I dove in to rescue you.
That was very nice of you, but I've got nothing to do with any Duke of Dragons. That's by choice. Anyway, I need to get this power transfer stone back to an ally of mine. Don't tell anyone I was here. On days 11 to 12, I found that Dr. Invertebrate was still living at my base, which was what I was hoping for since I planned to give him the power transfer stone. I retrieved the stone, Doc.
Ah, perfect. My plan is going perfectly. By that I mean our plan is going perfectly.
I didn't think it was that funny. But anyway, what else do I need to do in order to transfer my powers away?
Eager to get to the next phase, are we? Well then, pay attention, because this is where things are really going to get challenging.
I'm listening.
You must place the power transfer stone within the mouth of a magic idol that sits on a nearby island. I'll show you how to get there.
Excellent! I can't wait to be free of my powers.
I can't wait either.
I still didn't know what Dr. Invertebrate was laughing about, but I figured he was just remembering an inside joke. On my way to Idle Island, I stopped by an open cave to dig for iron ore. A strong suit of armor should protect me in case anyone working for Duke Zed tries to capture me. Unfortunately, the cave was full of hyenas, so I needed to do multiple sweeps with my green energy breath weapon to clear them out. Once I had cleared the cave of the hyenas, I collected the iron ore. Then I went back outside and flew off towards Idle Island. On days 13 to 15, I came ashore on the island and saw the idol waiting for me to place the power transfer stone in its mouth. There were signs all over the place with messages that said, "Here's Zozo," and "Transfer your power here." I want to feel welcome, but I'm starting to just feel creeped out instead. Was Dr. Invertebrate not telling me something about the idol? Maybe he had been planning to do something with the power transfer stone for longer than I thought. But then again, he'd still have to have known my name, and we didn't meet that long ago. This was getting too weird. So instead of placing the stone inside the idol, I jumped back into the air and flew back towards my base. I needed answers about all of this, and I was convinced that only the good doctor could give them to me. On days 16 to 19, I was surprised to run into Dr. Invertebrate in the field while I was still on my way to the base. He noticed that I still had the power transfer stone in my possession.
Why didn't you put the stone in the idol's mouth like I asked?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to not listen to you, but that place was really weird, and I have some questions about what has been going on.
Questions for me? Well, I am a brain, so I should be smart enough to give some good answers.
First, why hasn't Zed sent any minions after me? You said he would, but I haven't seen any signs of it. Second, why did it seem like you had been to that island and knew my name before you met me?
You should ask better questions, Zozo. Those will get us nowhere. Just leave the rest of the thinking to me, will you?
All right, but I'm still confused. When I made it back to the base, I was startled to see Tibernius the Sunbird there waiting for me.
It is you! You're the one I've been looking for! We need your help quickly! The Duchy of Dragons is under attack!
The Duchy of Dragons? Isn't that the place ruled by Duke Zed of the Dragons? Wait, did you say I was…
There's no time! You're the only one who can stop that madman Dr. Invertebrate!
What? It couldn't be true. I followed Tibernius, and the two of us hurried to the Duchy of Dragons. Once we got there, I saw that it was being attacked by Dr. Invertebrate. He was using mutant powers to destroy the buildings. Invertebrate, stop this! What are you doing?
I tried to do this the nice way, but you chose to defy me. Now, because of you, your people will suffer.
I don't understand. You said the dragons wanted my powers.
No, you fool! I want your powers so I can become the most powerful mutant who ever lived, and I would have had them too if you had just placed the stone in the idol.
I'm not doing that. I'm not listening to you anymore. You're going down. I charged in and prepared to use my powers, but he hit me with a mutant energy attack before I could. Due to the power of it, I was knocked out cold. On days 20 to 22, I woke up and saw that the Duchy of Dragons had been completely destroyed. There was no sign of Dr. Invertebrate anywhere. What was even worse was that the power transfer stone was gone from my inventory. He must have stolen it from me after I was knocked out.
You're awake! I guess Invertebrate still needs you alive.
Tibernius, I'm so sorry. I was too weak to stop him.
Don't worry, Zozo. I've gathered the remaining dragons and told them that you could make it up to them by giving them a new home in your base.
You did? Well, how can I say no? It seems like everyone got in a whole bunch of trouble because of me.
Nothing of the sort. There is still hope because of you.
The faces of many dragons looked at me, and they didn't seem upset. It was like they saw me as one of their own, and not a mutant. I promise, I'll do everything I can to keep you safe at my base, or my name isn't Zozo, the mutant dragon. I spent the rest of the days gathering materials and expanding the base outward so it looked like the new Duchy of Dragons. I added a bunch of houses for the dragons and a bridge to connect them all. I wanted to make it feel like the home they lost and provide a safe space for them. On days 23 to 26, I was searching a nearby mountain for some gold that normal dragons really like and found a hidden canyon with loads of it. The canyon seemed to be crawling with aggressive macas, which seemed to be very territorial and seems like they could deal a lot of damage. I better go out of my way to avoid a fight. I went deeper into the canyon undetected, but it turned out that some of the others weren't so lucky. I saw a zombie getting attacked by the macas. He looked like a mutant too, just like me, and was punching them with his green fists. Hey, fellow mutant, we should work together. I can help you.
No way. You're just gonna try and steal my powers, aren't you? Just like Invertebrate.
I promise I won't. He tried to do that to me too.
It sounds like we've got a common enemy then. Okay, I'll accept a hand.
I jumped in to help and used my energy blast to scatter the macas so the mutant zombies could take them out one by one with his punches. Together, we defeated all of them with ease.
Thanks for the assist. I had almost given up on my fellow mutant. Here's a tip about unlocking your powers as a reward.
The mutant zombie showed me how to focus my energy into my limbs like he did. Thanks to his demonstration, I could jump super high with an energy-powered wing boost. Thank you. I'll make sure to put this power to good use.
If you see Dr. Invertebrain, give him the old one too for me.
On days 27 to 31, I found some sheep wandering through a burnt plain.
Meh. So hungry.
What happened to all the grass here, guys?
There was some kind of evil energy blast, and all the grass got burned up. We used to graze here all the time, but now it's gone.
Don't worry, the grass is always greener on the other side of the valley. And by that I mean, my base has some grass you could eat.
Bah, thank you.
The sheep and I returned to my base. I then built them an enclosure around a grassy field where they could live and eat peacefully. After that, I went to see Tibernius and noticed he had created a training area where everyone could practice sword skills.
We need to be ready in case of another attack, especially because Duke Zed and his noble guard have gone missing.
That's right, I almost forgot. There are still some dragons that fled the city during Dr. Invertebrain's attack. We've got to make sure to find them.
I'm sure they'll turn up, but for now, we should prepare for Invertebrain's next move.
Meanwhile, unknown to myself and Tibernius, the evil doctor had been growing more powerful. He had captured that mutant zombie I had met in the hidden canyon and was using the power transfer stone and the island idol to drain the zombie's powers and add them to his own.
You'll never get away with this, Invertebrain.
Oh, but I already have. And I'll keep transferring the powers of every other mutant to myself until I'm all powerful!
On days 32 to 35, I was mining for more materials when I encountered a group of fire dragons. Are you refugees from the duchy?
It's one of them mutants that destroyed the duchy. Get him!
Uh-oh, they must think I'm working with Invertebrain. I used my mutant wings and glided to the other side of the group of dragons. I didn't want to attack them, so I tried a diplomatic approach. I promise that I'm the good guy.
Don't lie to us, dragons. We've been deceived before.
Just when I thought nothing could work, a bigger dragon appeared who looked like he was their leader.
Stop this at once. Do not attack Zozo anymore. He has fought bravely to protect his fellow dragons, as I knew he would.
You know my name?
I know a great many things about you, young dragon, for I am Duke Zed, the Duke of all dragons.
You're Duke Zed? I was told you would try to steal my powers, but I'm guessing that was another one of Dr. Invertebrain's lies.
Indeed it was. He tried to turn us against each other, but the truth is that we share a strong bond.
A strong bond? What did he mean by that? I had never met this dragon before in my life, but somehow what he was saying felt like it was true in my heart. I had to know more. Duke Zed, please return to my base and tell me everything. I need to know about Invertebrain and why I've always had these mutant powers.
No, I cannot. It is too risky for myself and the rest of these dragons to be out in the open, but if you need my help, you can find me in the underground.
Well, that's good enough for me. For now, I'm going to let Tibernius know that you're okay, but I'll be back soon to hear more of the truth.
I will be looking forward to it, young dragon.
On days 36 to 39, I decided to get prepared for the next battle by getting my armor to iron. I crafted an entire set from the iron I had collected a while ago. Not too shabby if I do say so myself. I also wanted to upgrade my tools. Since I had access to several caves with iron ore deposits in them, I started from there and kept digging until I had enough iron. Wow, these are some awesome mines. I should look to see if I can find even more cool stuff. Further down in the cave, I found a treasure chest, and inside was a unique weapon, an enchanted crossbow that could fire endurophage rockets at enemies. These rockets are made of parts that you can only get in the end. The explosions caused by these rockets could be useful later down the line. I went back to the base in order to show Tibernius the cool weapon that I found. When I arrived, there was another guest inside of the training area, a warped toad. Tibernius was standing by, so I knew it was okay.
Hello, I'm Warpo. It is riveting to meet you.
I'm Zozo.
Oh, I'm well aware. Every mutant has heard of you now. You're the mutant dragon who defied Dr. Invertebrain.
You're a mutant too, Warpo?
Why, yes I am. There's somebody I need to take you to see. It's an old friend who has some important news about the battle between good mutants and evil mutants.
You should go, Zozo. Don't worry about the base. I will defend it for you. Thanks, Tibernius. That makes me feel a lot more secure.
It'll be a few days' journey, but I promise you that what they have to say is worth the journey.
All right then, Warpo. Let's get a move on. On days 40 to 43, I traveled with Warpo until we arrived at the home of the person he wanted me to talk to. It turned out to be none other than the mutant zombie that I had helped before. He was now just a normal zombie because Dr. Invertebrain had drained his mutant powers. He told me everything about the power transfer stone and the island's idol. So that's what would have happened to me if I had gone through with it. Glad I avoided that.
Us too. You're the only mutant whose powers come close to matching Dr. Invertebrain's. That's why he wants your powers most of all.
That might be true, but how can I become more powerful than him? The last time we fought, he knocked me out easily.
That's why we're here. I managed to steal back the power transfer stone while Invertebrain wasn't looking. Now we can transfer Warpo's mutant powers to you and make you stronger.
Are you okay with that, Warpo?
That I am. Dr. Invertebrain must be stopped, and I'm willing to give up my own powers if it means you can take him down.
Then let's get to it.
That's what I like to hear. Go ahead and place your hands on the stone.
Just then, a giant crab burst into the house and attacked us.
Hand over my brother's power transfer stone, or I'll put the squeeze on you with my claws.
Your brother? Do you mean Dr. Invertebrain?
Yeah, I'm Herma, his non-mutant crab brother. Even though my brother is evil and a mutant, I'm as loyal as they come.
So am I, you crusty crab. Zozo, Warpo, I'll hold this guy off. Make the transfer, and hurry!
And with that, the zombie who used to be a mutant pulled out a sword and started fighting with Herma. I turned to Warpo, and the two of us used the power transfer stone to give his powers to me.
It worked! Now run for it!
We all split up, and Herma didn't know which one of us had the stone, so he kept rampaging and wrecking the zombie's house. I was the one who had it though, and as I retreated back to my base, I could feel the strength that Warpo had given me running through my veins. I could tell I was closer than before to being strong enough to defeat Dr. Invertebrain. On days 44 to 49, Zed showed up at the base with the remaining dragons. I did my best to make sure they felt welcome. After that, I made sure no one was coming towards the base by checking the surrounding area. Once I knew everyone was safe, I met with Zed alone. I thought you were going to stay in hiding.
I was, but learning of a certain powerful item changed all of that. I think that my subjects and I have discovered the key to defeating Invertebrain.
Go on.
We have reason to believe that there is a way to build an idol just like Invertebrain's. An idol that can amplify the power transfer stone and allow you to take his mutant powers before he takes yours.
You mean I could defeat him by giving him a taste of his own power-stealing medicine?
Exactly, Zozo. But it will require you to build the idol in a particular shape before you switch the power on.
Whatever must be done, I'll do it. Thanks, Zed. You're actually a really cool guy. I began to build the specific structure needed to house the idol. It was important that I get this right because I was up against one of the most powerful brains in the world. When it was prepared, I left the base in search of the rest of the idol. On days 50 to 53, I went to a village that Zed said would be able to give me information about building the idol. It was an island village of crafters who specialized in building powerful idols like the one I found on the island so many days ago. They might have accidentally helped Invertebrain in the past, but today they would be able to help me. I asked the village blacksmith for information, and he turned out to be just as willing to help as I hoped.
The secret to the island's power is in the crystal eyes. The more pure the crystal is, the more it can amplify the energy of the stone that is placed inside of it.
I see. Do you know where I can find these crystal eyes?
They are extremely rare. Almost as rare in this world as, well, mutant are. I can't tell you anything more concrete than that. Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you anyway. I left the idol crafter's village and decided to return to base. I was going back the way I came when I saw a mutant spider pig being attacked by a Pterodon, a fellow mutant. Hey, do you need help? Before I even managed to get close, the spider pig used a blast of mutant green energy to take down the Pterodon. Oh wow, it looks like you handled it just fine. Your powers are really strong. Do you want to lend them to me? The spider pig just shook its head and left. It didn't seem interested in sharing its power. So that's how it is. Every mutant for himself, I suppose. On days 54 to 57, I was still on my way home when Herma ambushed me out of the blue.
You thought you could escape, Zozo? Give me the power transfer stone.
Never, Herma. You'll just give it to your brother, Dr. Invertebrain, and he'll use it to take my powers away.
That is the plan.
His pincer attack hit me in the side, and it really hurt. I had taken a lot of damage, but fortunately, I was regenerating a lot faster than normal. This must be the power I got from Warpo, mutant regeneration.
So what if you can survive more of my attacks? I'll still cut you down to size.
Herma was a tough opponent, and even my mutant green energy blast wasn't able to scratch his powerful crab shell.
My brother used to practice his mutant powers on me all the time, so I've become resistant to it. You're nowhere near as strong as he is.
I only had one weapon left, and I needed to use it as a distraction. I blasted him with an Endurophage rocket. It didn't beat him, but it hurt him enough that I had time to escape. Meanwhile, Dr. Invertebrain was fighting a bunch of Geonox in a place that I had never been before. It turned out there was more than one power transfer stone in the world, and he was going to get the other one.
I should have done this a long time ago. Once I acquire the second power transfer stone, I'll outfit my idol with even greater crystallize, so I can transfer power from anywhere.
On days 58 to 62, I returned to find out that my base now looked almost exactly like the old Duchy of Dragons. The fire dragons in Tibernius had been rebuilding it into a brand new capital city for the dragons, since the previous one was destroyed. I decided to join in and build a statue that would make this new home even more special for all the dragons living here. It would surely be the talk of the base when it was complete. For now, it didn't look much like it would turn out to be. I also decided to place a bunch of fire pits to keep the base well lit, even when it was dark outside. That way, no one could get lost in the dark. I went to the training area and saw that it needed more weapons, so I built a bunch of iron swords for everyone to use and handed them over to Tibernius.
These are some exceptional swords, Zozo. I will make sure that they are in the hands of exceptional warriors. Back to training, everyone.
After all that crafting, I was running low on iron, so I returned to the mines and went searching for some more. While I was at it, I also mined for diamonds. The diamond ore was less common than the iron ore, but with enough effort, I was able to find some. At the end of the day, I had enough diamonds to craft a diamond helmet and diamond chestplate. On days 63 to 66, the blacksmith from the Idolmaker's village showed up at my base. Welcome to the new dragon base, blacksmith. I hope you have some good news to share with me.
I don't just have good news, I have great news. The village has located another source of crystallize, and these might be the purest form that we have ever found.
No way, that's incredible! If we can get those, then I'll be able to transfer Dr. Invertebrain's evil mutant powers to me and use them for good.
That's why I told you first. You were so nice when you came to visit the village. I thought we would lend you a hand in your quest.
Thank you so much. Will you lead me to where I can find the crystal eyes?
Of course, Zozo. Follow me.
We traveled away from the base for a couple days until we found the entrance to the crystal mine. The crystal eyes that we needed for the idol would be inside there, but it looked like it was guarded by some really big Geonox. Oh man, these guys guard everything cool. And if I remember right, they don't take much damage from mutant energy attacks.
Well, at least you know where it is now. We can come back when you are ready to take them on.
You're right. For now, we should be grateful that Dr. Invertebrain doesn't know where this is. On days 67 to 70, an old dragon friend came to see me at the base. It was Rusty. After all this time, he hadn't forgotten how we worked together to escape from those evil bar guests.
Zozo, it looks like you've gotten even more powerful since the last time I saw you.
You're looking very well too, Rusty.
I came by because another enemy is giving me trouble. I was hoping you could stand up to the mob so I could be safe. You know, like the last time we worked together.
Sure, Rusty. Anything for a friend. I followed Rusty back home to his farm, where a tremor elemental was destroying the fields.
That's the guy, Zozo. Go get him.
All right, Rusty, you wait inside. I'll handle this. I approached the tremor and tried a diplomatic approach to hopefully resolve the situation. But the tremor didn't listen. It just started attacking me instead. Have it your way then. I shot a blast of green energy at the tremor, stunning him in place. It seemed like my powers were growing even stronger. The tremor was helpless, so instead of defeating him, I spared him. You're not going to cause my friend Rusty any more trouble, but I do have a job for you, since you are an Earth Elemental. If you can talk to the big Geonox and have them let me into the Crystal Eye Mines, I'll treat you like a friend from now on. The tremor agreed, and because of that, I had a way into the Crystal Eye Mines when the time came, and that time would be arriving sooner than expected. On days 71 to 74, Herma had made his way to the base and was smashing down the dragon's houses. It was like the destruction of the duchy all over again. I can't let this happen to my dragon friends. Herma, you've gone too far.
Ooh, I'm shaking. Actually, no, I'm dancing. I'm dancing with joy because it's so much fun to stomp on your dragons.
My mutant powers wouldn't be that effective, so I focused on hitting it with my sword attacks and dodging his pincers using my wing boost. I had my regeneration, but even that wouldn't let me stay in the fight for long.
Nice try, Zozo, but you're not even half of the mutant my brother is. If I wanted to, I could end this right here, but instead, I'll just take your little power transfer stone.
With that, he hit me again and took the power transfer stone right out of my inventory. Give that back, Herma!
Oh, what are you gonna do about it? See you later, Zozo. My brother sends his regards.
Herma Crab walked out of the base and was gone. The feeling of defeat almost broke my heart, but I decided not to give up hope. I built back the parts of the base Herma destroyed and equipped the walls with cannons in case he returned. The time would soon arrive when the dragons would have to face not just Herma, but our real enemy, the evil mutant Dr. Invertebrain. Speaking of that dastardly villain, he had found the village of the Idolcrafters and was using his greater mutant powers to threaten them into revealing the location of the pure crystal eyes.
By now, my brother has successfully taken the first of the power transfer stones from Zozo. Once I get the purest crystal eyes, my idol will be able to take the power not only from Zozo, but from every mutant in the world. I will become the ultimate mutant just as I had planned to!
On days 75 to 78, Duke Zed announced that he and the Fire Dragon would be leaving to go back into hiding. I tried to persuade him to stay at the base where it was safe. Why do you have to leave, Zed? This base could be a new home for all dragonkind. Everyone worked so hard on it.
There is no point in staying here when Dr. Invertebrain could show up and destroy it, just like he did to our original home. Now that his brother Herma has the other power transfer stone, it is only a matter of time before he steals your power and becomes too powerful to stop.
What if I could take the stone back from Herma before he gives it to the doctor? I know that I failed before, but I refuse to give up when everybody needs me.
Very well, young dragon. I had always had high hopes for you and your courage has inspired me. Take this dragon orb. It will enhance your powers enough that you might be able to take the power transfer stone back.
Duke handed me a dragon orb, and I could feel the magic giving me a new level of power. But it didn't feel the same as my mutant powers. When you said powers, did you mean my mutant powers?
I mean your dragon powers. You were born to be the next Duke of Dragons. Hibernius saw that potential in you, and I am choosing to believe in it again. Go now and fight to save dragonkind.
I will, Duke Zed. Thank you for giving me the strength to fight. I left the base with the dragon orb and followed the tracks that Herma left behind. On days 79 to 84, I found Herma's base. It looked like a coliseum, and from the looks of things, Dr. Invertebrain hadn't shown up here yet, so there was still a chance that I could take back the power transfer stone. Herma, I'm here to fight you and take back the power transfer stone.
Haven't you learned your lesson? Like I said before, you're not half the mutant my brother is.
That may be true, but I'm more of a dragon than either of you, and Duke Zed gave me the dragon orb so I could win.
So that was Zed's plan. Let's see how it goes.
Even with the power of the dragon orb, Herma was incredibly tough. My attacks could damage him, but I still couldn't rely on my mutant powers. I flew up and dive-bombed him from above, but it was no use. Even if I had more anti-aerophage rockets, the battle was still going against me.
Time to call it quits, Zozo.
Herma swung its pincer at me. My regeneration wasn't fast enough. It looked like it was going to be lights out.
Not so fast.
When all hope was lost, Tibernius showed up and covered the arena in smoke. Thanks to that, we were able to sneak away. But Herma managed to hit Tibernius in the smoke. Tibernius, you're hurt.
Don't worry about me, Zozo. I have something you might want.
He gave me a power transfer stone.
I've always wondered what would happen if a non-mutant tried to transfer power through it. What do you say, Zozo? Will you accept my fire powers?
Of course! Let's fry this crab! I used the power transfer stone and sent all of the fire powers of a sunbird into me. Now I could breathe fire just like a dragon. I was now larger, stronger, and capable of shooting strong flames. My heart's even doubled. You're toast, Herma!
Brother, I have failed you. No!
With Tibernius's powers, I defeated the crab and was able to keep the stone. On days 85 to 89, I collected more materials on the way back to the base. I could use these to complete the statue that I was planning to build for the dragons. I made it home and immediately put the finishing touches on it. It was a statue of a mighty fire dragon, a sign of strength, and a show of respect for all of the fire dragons that had moved on from this world so far. Of course, there was still the matter of defeating Invertebrain. With the help of the Tremor Elemental, I was able to talk my way past the giant Geonox and enter the mine with the crystal eyes. I went deep into the mine shaft where the villagers told me the purest crystal eye could be found. This mine was deeper and shinier than any I had ever been in, but because the crystal eyes were inside, I bravely made my way further in. When I made it to the chamber of the crystal eyes, I found a chest guarded by a giant lurker. The powerful enemy ran at me on sight and tried to bite me, but I was in my most powerful form now. I defeated it with a single blast from my fire breath and claimed the crystal eyes for myself. As I grabbed it though, I was temporarily poisoned due to the chest being trapped. On days 90 to 94, I returned to the entrance of the Crystal Eye Mine and found that Dr. Invertebrain was waiting for me. Of course, you were after the Crystal Eyes too. I should have known.
And thanks to you, I don't have to bother getting past those Geonox Guardians. Seems like you are helping me again, Zozo. Just like old times.
I will never help you again, Dr. Invertebrain. You betrayed me. I got those crystal eyes for one reason, to defeat you and save the dragons from your reign of destruction.
It wasn't me who betrayed you. You were the one who betrayed me. All you had to do was give up your mutant powers and you could live freely. But you sided with the dragons instead. And then you destroyed my brother. This is a warning, Zozo. Hand over the crystal eyes, and I will spare you after I take your powers. Disobey me, and I will wipe out both you and all the dragons, including Duke Zed.
I'm not afraid of you. I may not be as mutated as you, but I have Tibernius's fire powers and the dragon orb. I am everything that my friends made me. I will win.
So be it. This is your destruction!
Invertebrain used his strongest mutant powers against me, and it was even more than the level of power he was using when he destroyed the Duchy of Dragons. Back then, a single attack would have knocked me out in one hit, and even though I was stronger, the damage was still too much to handle. He knocked me down with a blast of mutant energy, and while I was stunned, took the crystal eyes away from me. How can you still be this strong?
How can you still be that weak? Whoa! Pitiful dragon, you will soon know what it means to be the only one of your kind, after I steal your mutant powers, that is.
Dr. Invertebrain got away with the crystal eyes. Even now, I was powerless to stop him. The hole he left behind was giant. On days 95 to 97, I was able to call upon enough mutant power to fly out of the hole that Dr. Invertebrain had trapped me in. Yes. Since I still had my powers, I knew that there was time to warn the others. Instead of heading to the base, I remembered what Zed told me and went to the underground to find him. If anyone could back me up in my next fight against the evil doctor, it had to be the Duke of Dragons. When I made it to where the fire dragons had been hiding out, I saw that I had been too late. Dr. Invertebrain had already found the dragon's secret base and attacked them. The dragons were injured, and it looked like many of them wouldn't make it.
Zozo, is that you? Zed is over that way, and he doesn't have much time either. You must talk to him before he goes.
I nodded and made my way to where Zed was lying down, dying. It was a sad sight to see the Duke of Dragons like that. Zed, I'm here. I'm so sorry. If you had the dragon orb, maybe this wouldn't have—
It's okay, young dragon. I always knew you were the only one who could stop our greatest nemesis, Invertebrain. He always planned to use the mutant power inside of you to conquer the world. And that is why he stole your egg from us before you hatched.
How do you know that, Zed? I didn't know where I came from before I hatched.
I remember your egg, a mutant dragon egg. It was different from the others, but still a dragon. Still my son, the next Duke of Dragons.
Zed, you're my dad?
Yes, young dragon. And when I'm gone, you will be crowned the Duke of Dragons. Take care of them, my son.
Zed was gone. I now knew everything. Invertebrain tried to raise me as his own, so he could someday take my powers away. But everything he tried had failed. The mutant he tried to steal would now become the dragon who defeated him. On day 98, I made it back to the base and found it in ruins. It seemed that Dr. Invertebrain had kept his wicked promise and wiped out the dragons. The fire dragons, the ones from the Duchy, and even Rusty. Every last one of them had been destroyed. It was horrible. On some level, I felt like it was all my fault, and the guilt of not being able to save them weighed heavily on me. Was this your plan, Invertebrain? To take everyone I cared about away, so I wouldn't have anything left to fight for? It was only a matter of time until my powers were transferred to Dr. Invertebrain. He would get to that island with the idol, and then I wouldn't stand a chance against him. This is hopeless.
There is always hope, Zozo. Your father believed this.
Hibernius!
Look at me, Zozo. I gave my fire powers to you because I believed in you. And even in my powerless form, I still believe in you.
What can we do? He was always stronger than me, and even if I win, I can't bring everyone back.
Perhaps you can. Remember what powers you have now. If you have the pure crystal eyes, you'll be able to transfer power into yourself, but also to others.
Of course. If I transfer your fire power to the dragons, along with my regeneration, the combined power could revive them.
There's only one way to find out. Let's take those crystal eyes back.
Together, Hibernius and I vowed to do just that. On day 99, I raced to the Idol Island to confront Dr. Invertebrain. The 2 power transfer stones and crystal eyes were floating next to the idol, and he was about to combine them. I dive-bombed over and grabbed the crystal eyes and power stones from the magic stones they were on.
Zozo, you dare disobey me again?
I dare. You thought you could crush my spirit, but like I've said time and time again, I don't give up.
You're not thinking straight, that's why. Only I have the brains to rule this world. You should have just let me do the thinking.
Your thinking stinks, Doc. I'm going to fix the damage you've done. I flew high into the sky with the crystal eyes and power transfer stones, then glided over the water to land on the mainland shore. There was no way that crab could catch up to me now. I zoomed back to the base and placed those pure crystal eyes next to the idol that I had built many days ago. Then I flipped a switch to combine them. Please work, please work! I let my powers go, and they flowed into the machine to be given to all of my fallen dragon friends. The fires within the dragons began to reignite, and they regenerated back to life. Rusty was the first to show up. He ran over to me and jumped for joy.
I'm saved. You did it, Zozo. Giving us your mutant regeneration power saved us.
Don't forget the fire power too, courtesy of Hibernius.
You better believe I won't forget it. I feel all warm inside and fired up. Put an end to that Dr. Invertebrain once and for all.
Thanks, Rusty. I'll make sure to defeat that Brainiac once and for all, and make the land safe for all mutants and dragons alike. On day 100, Dr. Invertebrain looked up to the sky and saw me flying towards him.
What? What are you doing back here?
After saving all of the dragons by sharing my power with them, I've come back to finish this. You're going down, Brainiac.
Curse you, Zozo! If you think you can beat me now, I promise you that you are still too weak.
Maybe alone I was, but not with everyone having my back. All of my friends believe in me, and I refuse to give up or let them down. I attacked and blasted Dr. Invertebrain with my flame. That wore him down enough that I could face him in close quarter combat. We battled, mutant against mutant, hitting each other with all we had. He was strong and evil, but I didn't let up for even a moment. You tried to control me, to take everything from me. But now, I will defy you again, and it'll be the last time you order me around.
Zozo, think about what you are doing.
I fired up one final blast of my remaining fire mutant energy and destroyed him!
No!
The battle was over. Now the rebuilding of the Dragon Duchy could begin, and all mutant and dragon kind could finally live in peace and harmony. I may have been born a mutant, but because of my heart, everyone was now free to be who they truly are. On day 1, I spawned in as a mighty dinosaur. Well, not really. I was pretty small and only had 4 hearts. I'm just a baby. I looked around and noticed there weren't any other dinosaurs around. And then I noticed I was in an enclosure with tall walls. Hey, that's no fair. I want to run around and be free. I ran around looking for a way out. I couldn't find anything. Just then, I heard a bell go off and I saw some food being lowered into my cage. I was hungry, but I still needed to find a way out. The food lowered to the ground and I ate all of it. Then I got a brilliant idea. I held onto the hook as it was brought back up to the edge of the wall. I jumped on the edge, free from my enclosure. Then I jumped off and ran toward the jungle. Dinosaurs are meant to be free. As I was running, I saw a human in a car trying to chase after me. He started shooting at me. Ah! I managed to jump over a large tree that had fallen down, but the car couldn't get through. One human threw his weapon down in anger and yelled at me.
We'll get you back. Mark my words.
What a weird guy. I found a little cave and decided to hide out there for the night. I would go looking around for more dinosaurs in the morning. On day 2, I woke up feeling very hungry. Man, I'm gonna need to find more food if I want to survive out here. I quickly began chopping down some trees and managed to make a crafting table. With that, I made some wood tools. I feel a bit more prepared now. I explored further in the jungle and found some sheep. I hurried and got their meat before they could run away. I really needed to gain my strength back. Yummy. As I was enjoying my food, I heard a snap of a twig. I turned and saw a small ocelot trying to hide behind some bushes. Hey, do you want some food? The ocelot peeked out and slowly came and grabbed some meat from me.
Thank you.
Of course.
What are you?
I'm a dinosaur.
You won't eat me, will you?
No, I won't. Have you never seen a dinosaur before? The ocelot shook his head.
I know that park over there has dinosaurs, but I've never seen one until today.
Interesting. I wondered what that park was all about and why there weren't any other dinosaurs on the island.
Thanks again for the food. You take care of yourself.
You too. He ran off into the jungle. I need to figure out what's going on here. On day 3, I gathered some more materials to make a little base. I knew that the humans would probably be back, and I wanted to be ready for them. Once the base was finished, I went out to look for some food. Boy, am I hungry again! I managed to find a bunch of sheep and tried to herd them back to my base. But then, a bunch of alligators came and started attacking me. Get back, you nasties! I used my sword and my pure strength to fight them off, and before I knew it, they were all gone. Just then, I felt a surge of power, and I grew into a teenage T-Rex. Hey, I have more hearts now. I finished gathering the sheep and led them back to my base. I hurried and set up a pen for them. What a good day. On days 4 to 5, I made my way back to the park to scout it out. Maybe I could learn more if I watched what the humans were doing. I was searching around and found some rusty shears. These might come in handy. Just then, I saw a bunch of humans driving toward me. I ran through some rocks and dirt hills to lose them, but they just kept following me. I roared at them, and the force almost toppled their car over. That's new. This caused one human to fall out of the car. The driver didn't stop and they left him. He got out his weapon and started shooting darts at me. Hey, stop it! I roared again, and the force made him fall over. I was starting to feel the effects of the dart. Ouch! I felt pretty woozy. What was that? The human pulled out a walkie-talkie.
Dr. Harlan, I have subdued test subject A. Come to this location to retrieve him.
I couldn't let the humans take me, especially not this Dr. Harlan. He sounded like bad news. I mustered up my strength and smacked the human with my tail, sending him flying over a cliffside. I gotta get out of here! The sleeping dart definitely was doing its job, but I managed to get back home before completely passing out. I'll have to find that doctor tomorrow. On day 6 to 8, I woke up, still feeling a little groggy. That wasn't super fun. I need to be sure not to get shot again. I went out and grabbed some food before heading out to gather more supplies. I needed some better weapons to defend myself. I went further into the jungle and spotted a small mountain. I started to mine out some of the materials and set up a crafting table to make myself a new stone sword, pickaxe, and shovel. Nice! I was about to make my way further up the mountain when I saw some little jaguars hanging out. They're kinda cute. But that was short-lived because they started to jump and bite at me. Come on, guys, I'm not food. They didn't back down, so I used my new sword to fight them off. It only took a minute before I defeated them all. Thank goodness for that. Otherwise, I would look like Swiss cheese. I ate some food to heal, and I headed further into the jungle. On days 9 to 10, I journeyed past the trees to the edge of the island. It was beautiful. Too bad there were humans trying to hunt me down. Just then, I heard a screeching of tires and saw a car coming towards me. Wow, I was just thinking about the humans, and then they show up. Maybe I have superpowers. I started to think of it raining sheep and nothing. Well, it was worth a shot. I started to run away from the car, but they caught up to me pretty quick. The guy I had seen earlier who had thrown down his weapon was inside. He must have been Dr. Harlan.
You can't run away from me now. You're mine.
Go away! The car soon caught up to me, and the humans had me cornered. Ah! A heavy iron cage made out of chains pinned me down.
Thank goodness for that tracker. We didn't realize it was attached to you until later because Jones never came back. But at least he did his job right.
Dr. Harlan plucked something off my leg. It looked like a dart, but then I noticed a little blinking beacon. That human, Jones, must have shot me with a tracker a few days ago. I felt so silly. I don't belong with you. I belong out in the wild. Dr. Harlan just laughed. I was confused and desperate. I needed to get out. Just then, I felt a whoosh of air, and part of the cage was broken. I saw a blur of pink whizzing past me.
Run, Zozo!
I ran, following the pink blur back toward my base. When we finally stopped, I realized the pink blur wasn't just a blur. It was another T-Rex. The dinosaur jumped down from behind cover and scared me. I knew there were other dinosaurs on the island. I'm Zozo. The dinosaur smiled at me.
I'm Zoe. I'm your sister.
Sister? Wait, back up. What?
We're twins. I was put in a different enclosure though. I heard that you escaped and everyone was freaking out, so I took my chance when they went looking for you and climbed out as well. They really need to work on their security system.
But hey, good for us though, right?
Right.
So, you're super fast? Zoe nodded her head and zoomed in a circle, demonstrating her speed.
What can you do?
I don't know. Am I supposed to be able to do something? Zoe looked a little uncomfortable.
No, not really.
Oh, wait! I can move things with my roar. It's like a sonic power. I showed it off.
That's really cool!
Do all dinosaurs have powers like us?
No, I guess we are just special.
Zoe seemed like she wasn't telling me something. I was going to ask her what she knew, but then I heard her stomach growl. Hey, how about I get you some food? You must be starving.
That'd be great, actually. Thanks.
We went to the farm and ate until we were both full. Zoe must have not eaten for a long time because she had double of what I had. How about you live here? It's safe, there's plenty of food, and I'd love for you to stay with me. Zoe looked really happy about that, and she readily agreed.
Sounds like a plan.
On days 11 to 12, I made an area for Zoe on the base. I worked hard to give her everything she would need in order to be comfortable. Soon, it was all ready to go. She seemed really happy to have found me, and I was happy to be reunited with the sister I never knew I had. I decided to go exploring a little bit to improve the base and the weapons that I had. While I was out, I came across a flock of birds nesting on some stones. They were beautiful looking woodpeckers. Hey, could I have some of that stone? They seemed friendly enough, but then out of nowhere they started pecking at me. Seriously? I tried to smack them, but they kept flying and then dive bombing me. I need to get out of here. I ran into the trees, hoping to get some coverage. They stopped attacking, but I really needed that stone. What am I gonna do? I looked around the jungle and noticed some long vines hanging from the trees. I had an idea. I gathered some of the vines, a couple small sticks, and a bunch of rocks. This should do the trick. I snuck back to the rock formation and attacked them with my new weapon, a slingshot. Take that! It worked perfectly, and before I knew it, all the birds were gone. Nice! And I have some food to take back to Zoe. I gathered the bird meat and started mining out the rocks. It took a while, but I finally got enough to make some new furnaces. This is awesome! I headed back to the base and showed Zoe my new weapon. She was super impressed and even asked if I could make her one. I happily agreed. She was super excited and shot with the slingshot towards the lake. Once that was done, I used some wooden logs to build a wall surrounding the base. It was all starting to come together. On days 13 to 15, I had a weird dream. I was back in the park, but it looked like I was in a lab of some sort. People were poking and prodding at me. I saw Zoe and she was chained down. Let her go! Then the dream changed and Dr. Harland was there. He was presenting us to a large crowd of humans. He had trapped us in enclosures and we were chained. The humans stared and laughed at us. It was horrible. I woke from the dream with a start. Whoa, that was terrible. I went to go find Zoe. I told her about the dream and asked her what it meant. She hesitated.
We are lab experiments, Zozo. We aren't natural dinosaurs. Dr. Harlan grew us in the lab, giving us special abilities.
Why would he do that?
He's not just a doctor. He also owns this entire park over there. He genetically engineers dinosaurs for human entertainment.
That's awful.
But you and I are special. He made us specifically for a new exhibit he's working on.
This was a lot to take in. We were being hunted by an angry doctor and his goons. It felt like the odds were definitely against us. On days 16 to 19, I woke up to find that Zoe wasn't in the base. Zoe! I looked everywhere and called out to her, but I couldn't find her. I wonder where she went. I looked around the entrance and noticed some footprints. They looked a lot like mine, but were smaller. These must be Zoe's footprints. I followed them, leading away into the jungle. They stopped at the mouth of a cave. Oh no, I hope Zoe's okay. I tried to quietly creep in the cave, my slingshot at the ready. I heard some muffled screaming, along with some maniacal laughter. That doesn't sound good. I went further down, and I saw Zoe. She was all tied up. There was also a monkey tied up next to her. Around them were a bunch of big, hairy spiders. Oh, gross! I charged, shooting rocks as I went. The spiders looked alarmed and tried to scurry away, but I managed to fight them all off. I hurried and freed Zoe just as she yelled at me.
Zozo, look out!
I turned around, and there was the biggest spider I had ever seen in my life. Granted, I was only a few days old, but still.
You're taking my dinner.
That's my sister. She's not food. I slung some rocks at the huge spider before charging at him. He smacked me with his legs, and I was nearly down to my last heart when I remembered my roar. I let out a big roar. The force made the spider fall over. I then attacked with my tail and weapons, and within no time, he was gone. Victory is mine! All of a sudden, I felt power course through my body, and I leveled up into an adult T-Rex. Nice! I had way more hearts, and my tail could swing faster now. I helped finish freeing Zoe and the monkey.
Thanks for rescuing me. I'm Crew.
I'm Zozo. I looked over at Zoe, and she was shaking. Are you okay?
That was so scary. I went out this morning before you got up, and I was ambushed by those spiders. I tried to roar, but they tied my mouth closed before I had a chance to call for you.
I'm glad I found you. Being spider food wasn't really a part of my grand plan. Zoe laughed and Crew joined us.
You're from that park over there. I knew there were dinosaurs, but nobody has seen any.
Yeah, we managed to escape Dr. Harland, but he is kind of crazy. He wants to bring us back so he can make money off of us and all the other dinosaurs.
That's awful. How many more dinosaurs are there?
We don't know, but they don't belong in there. We need to help them escape. Crew thought for a minute.
I might be able to help out with that.
Really? How?
This island has been inhabited by dinosaurs before, a really long time ago. There was a T-Rex like you guys that had a special item that could ward off the humans.
That sounds awesome. Do you know where it is?
No, sorry. Legend says it's on the island somewhere, but nobody has found it.
This was good news. Maybe we could make the humans leave for good. On days 20 to 22, Crew came with us to the base. He seemed to really like us and wasn't scared like most animals were. He was also really funny and would ride on our back sometimes. Once we got back to the base, we tried to get settled in, but then a bunch of jaguars showed up, trying to get our sheep. Hey, there's enough food for all of us. You don't need to steal from us. They didn't listen and just continued to attack. With our combined strength, the jaguars were gone in no time. We made some improvements to the base, including a treehouse for Crew to hang out in. He really seemed to like it. Hey Zoe, would you want to help me with something?
Yeah, sure. What is it?
I want to make a statue. I want the humans to know that they can't mess with us, and I want all the dinosaurs to know that there is hope to be free.
That sounds awesome, Zozo.
We chatted about the design and started on the base of the statue. Can you tell what it's going to be? Also, if you like what you've seen so far, don't forget to subscribe. We love having you here on our adventures. On days 23 to 26, I woke up to the base being attacked again. They broke through the wall. I guess the jaguars had some reinforcements and didn't like that they couldn't get to our sheep. Come on, guys, really? Zoe and Crew joined me, and with their help, we defeated the jaguars in no time. I noticed that one of them had dropped something, so I picked it up. It was an iron sword. Whoa, neat! I swung it around and nearly jabbed Zoe with it.
Hey, watch it!
Sorry! I looked around the base for a minute. Maybe we need to make some changes to the base so that it's safer. Zoe agreed and we went to work. We worked on expanding the walls and making our own areas larger. We ran out of supplies pretty quickly, so I headed out to gather some more materials. I also would really like some more iron so that I can have some better weapons. I explored for a minute before finding a large cave. I delved deeper and deeper until I found some iron ore. Perfect! Just then, a bunch of bats came out of nowhere and tried to swarm me. Ah! I hurried and started smacking them with my new sword. The last few that evaded me, I shot with my slingshot. Nice! I really like having a sword. I mined the rest of the iron and hurried to craft myself an iron pickaxe, axe, and an iron helmet. This will be perfect. I left, still feeling accomplished. I had a new weapon and a new tool. I felt like I was on top of the world. On days 27 to 31, I went to Crew to chat with him about the special item that would help me defeat the humans. He was chilling in his treehouse. I was too big to fit, so we just talked from a distance.
Well, the legend says that thousands of years ago, many dinosaurs lived on the island in peace. Then one day, the dinosaurs saw a boat approaching. They had no idea what it was, so they didn't fear it. But then the humans landed, and they began to immediately attack the dinosaurs. They took over the island and started to chop down all the trees and pollute the land. One T-Rex, his name was Ignatius the Great. He sacrificed his most prized possession to the volcano gods in order to gain the legendary item to ward off the humans.
What was the item exactly?
It was an amulet that granted him awesome power to grow to 10 times his size.
Whoa, that is awesome!
Right? So he used the amulet to defeat the humans and protect the dinosaurs.
So what happened to him and the amulet?
I'm not sure exactly. That's all I know.
What an interesting story. I hoped that it was true. It could be the answer to all my problems. On days 32 to 35, I thought some more about what Crew said. I really need to find that amulet. And if it's on the island, how hard can it be to find it? I decided to look around for something significant that could possibly help me. While I was venturing further into the island, I came upon a group of ocelots. One of them recognized me.
Hey, it's that dinosaur that helped me get food.
He ran up to me and started talking to me. His family seemed a little reluctant, so they stayed further back.
What are you doing?
I'm looking for the amulet that was lost on the island. Do you know anything about it? My little ocelot friend shook his head, but his dad piped up.
That amulet corrupts all who hold it. You don't want it.
Why do you say that?
The dinosaur that held it, Ignatius the Great, began to use the power to unfairly rule all of the dinosaurs. The volcano gods were angry, so they willed the volcano to erupt, taking out all the dinosaurs.
That's awful.
Well, that's what happens when you mess with power you shouldn't have. I couldn't agree more.
I flipped around to see Dr. Harland. How did you find me?
It's not that big of an island. I knew I would find you eventually.
I tried to run away, but Dr. Harland shot a dart at me. It got me right in the leg, and I immediately felt woozy again. Oh no, I can't pass out again. Everything was starting to get fuzzy.
It's okay. We'll take care of you.
Then everything went dark. On days 36 to 39, I woke up back in my house. Hey, how did I get back here? I went outside and saw the ocelot family hanging out with Zoe.
Look who's awake.
My little ocelot friend ran up to me.
Zozo, you're okay.
What happened?
Dr. Harlan shot you and then you passed out. We worked together to move you. We met your sister outside. She had been looking for you and was worried. She helped us to carry you in.
Wow, you guys are the best. Thanks.
No problem.
I don't even know all of your names. The ocelot officially introduced himself as Marty. The rest of his family had M names as well. Melissa, Mo, Miley, you get it.
Now that you're feeling better, how about we make some room for our new friends?
Sounds like a plan. Zoe and I worked on making an enclosure for the ocelots. I could tell they were scared to be living out on their own. By the time we finished, I could tell they were really happy about it. I decided to talk more with Marty's dad, Marvin, about the legendary amulet. I asked him where it might be, and he shook his head.
All I know is that the legend says it was buried with Ignatius somewhere on the north side of the island. That's where his home was. Everyone claims that he was wearing the amulet when the volcano erupted.
Interesting. I would have to travel a long way to go looking for it. But before I went back out, I got to work on the statue. It was coming along pretty great. I was excited to finish it. So, was your guess right? On days 40 to 43, I went out to go looking for more iron since I hadn't found that many deposits nearby. I went north and found a pretty big cave. As I entered, I saw a bunch of snakes slithering around. Not today! I quickly shot them with my slingshot, hit them with my sword, and also used my roar to send them flying into the lava. I was starting to feel really powerful. I journeyed deeper, and sure enough, I found a huge deposit of iron as well as coal. I made myself a little crafting table and set up a camp for myself in the cave. With the iron I had collected, I made myself all new tools and weapons. I am the mightiest of T-Rexes! Nobody can stop me now! On days 44 to 49, I journeyed to the north side of the island in search of the amulet. I was tromping through the jungle when I heard a scream. I snuck forward to see a bunch of alligators who had trapped a toucan. It looked like they were about to eat her. Hey, stay away from her! I tromped out from my hiding place and the alligators snapped at me. I guess they didn't like me intruding on their dinner plans. They started to attack me, but with my sonic roar and powerful tail, they were gone in an instant.
Thank you, mister.
I'm Zozo.
I'm Greta. I thought for sure I was going to be alligator food.
Well, I'm glad I was around.
I've been hearing about the dinosaurs on the island. What brings you over here?
I'm looking for the lost amulet of Ignatius the Great.
Oh, that's a tricky one, that is. It's supposedly here on the north side of the island, but...
What?
Well, it's kind of complicated to explain. I think it would be easier if I just showed you.
Okay, sounds like a plan to me. On days 50 to 53, I followed Greta further into the north side of the island. We were about to enter a clearing when Greta stopped me. Is that chanting?
Yeah.
I looked through the trees and saw a temple of some sort. There were a bunch of other toucans gathered around something on a pedestal. Hey, they have the amulet!
Wait, Zozo!
I didn't listen, and I tromped through the trees toward the birds. They immediately squealed in delight and started bowing. What's going on?
Oh, great and mighty one! You have heard our call, and you have come to retrieve what you have left behind.
I looked on the pedestal and noticed that it wasn't an amulet. It was is that a foot?
Yes, great Ignatius, it is your foot. We have been saving it for you.
I looked behind me and saw Greta was super embarrassed. These must have been her family members. The crazy side of the family, no doubt. Yes, I have been missing my foot. Thank you for taking such good care of it. They continued bowing as I went up and grabbed the foot. It was definitely from a T-Rex. My humble toucans, where did you find my foot? One hopped forward eagerly.
Oh, yes, we found it over here.
We journeyed on a path leading toward a large rock formation.
The foot was just sitting right here, oh holy one.
Thanks. Do you mind if I look around?
Do as you wish, great one.
The toucan left, and Greta flew up a moment later to rest on my shoulder.
I should have warned you. I don't come around here anymore because they are all a bunch of crazies. I mean, who worships a foot?
I just laughed. It's fine. It was exciting to say the least. I began digging at the rock formation, and sure enough, I found more bones inside. This must be Ignatius. Yes. We managed to uncover all the bones, but there wasn't an amulet in sight. If he wasn't wearing it, where did it go?
All the stories said he was wearing it.
This was beginning to feel like a wild goose chase. I gathered all the bones, and we headed back toward the base. On days 54 to 57, Greta and I made it back to the base. She didn't want to be with her crazy family, understandably, so we made a little nook for her. She seemed to really like it.
Hey, Zozo.
It was Crew. He came over to me. What's up?
I'm running a little low on food. Do you think you could grab me some more bananas? There's a tree nearby with some in it, but there are also some spiders in there.
No problem. I went to the tree Crew was talking about and immediately saw the swarm of spiders. Yuck! I used my slingshot to make them fall out of the tree, and then I attacked them. They were no match for my roar, and soon enough, they were gone. Sweet! Now Crew can have all the bananas he could want. I used my roar to make the bananas fall out of the tree, and I gathered them for my friend. He was ecstatic to see all the food I had gotten for him.
Wow, thanks, Zozo. Wait here for just a minute.
Crew went to work. In his treehouse, he started mixing a bunch of ingredients together in the mixing basin. And before I knew it, he had a big loaf of banana bread for me. Where did you even learn to bake? And where did you even get a mixer?
I have my ways. Here, hope you like it.
I ate it, and it was actually delicious. Yum. Thanks, Crew. He jumped up and down in delight.
No problem.
On days 58 to 62, I worked on the statue for a little bit. I was nearly done when I heard a scream from down below. The base was being attacked by some humans. Oh no! I hurried to run down to the base and noticed that all my friends had been shot with sleeping darts. The humans were trying to take them away. You let my friends go! I roared with all my might, and the humans focused their attention on me. They tried to shoot me, but I dodged them. I managed to take out a few of the guards and then went to chase the rest away. They got scared of me and ran off. Good riddance. I hurried to help my friends get back to their homes when I noticed that Zoe was missing. Zoe! I looked outside the base and I saw her lying on the ground. She didn't look too good. Zoe, let's get you inside so you can sleep.
They didn't hit me with a sleeping arrow, Zozo. They hit me with a real bullet.
What? Why?
I heard one of Dr. Harlan's men say that they just needed one dinosaur for the exhibit. You. So I charged him, and he shot me.
Oh no. Zoe!
It's okay. The hunter that shot me, Brett, said that they were going to get the amulet from its secret hiding place.
Zoe weakly handed me a map.
They dropped this. Hurry, Zozo. Take care of the rest of the dinosaurs. Protect the island.
And with that, my sister died. No! On days 63 to 66, I used the map that Zoe gave me to track down Brett. They won't get away with this. I traveled to the north side of the island again, past the temple and down into a large cave. There didn't seem to be anybody around, but then I saw a pool of water with a large glowing squid in it. There were a bunch of humans attacking him. Stop hurting innocent creatures! The men jumped in surprise as I attacked them. In only a matter of seconds, they were defeated.
Thank you, Ancient One.
Of course.
I knew you would all be back someday. It was only right that the dinosaurs ruled this island again.
Do you know where the amulet is? The squid nodded and pointed down further into the tunnel.
I'm afraid the rest of the humans have already started heading down that way, though.
How did they know to look for you?
Dr. Harland was my friend. When he came to the island, he discovered me and studied me. I told him of the amulet in the cave, but he wasn't interested in it at the time. It wasn't until recently that he wanted to retrieve it. I guess he didn't want a chance you finding it and overpowering him. He ordered his goons to destroy me.
I'm so sorry. That must have been heartbreaking.
You can't trust those humans. They only want power. They'll do anything to get it.
I'll go retrieve it.
Good luck to you, friend.
And with that, the squid swam further into the pool and disappeared. On days 67 to 70, I went deeper into the cave, which then opened up into a huge underground chasm. This must have been Ignatius's lair. Then I saw Brett and some other goons grabbing a chest from an alcove. That doesn't belong to you. Brett dropped his chest in surprise. He turned and sneered at me.
It don't belong to you neither.
I charged, ready to strike. The men got out their weapons, ready to shoot.
Don't hurt him, just put him to sleep. The doc wants to save him for later.
I managed to dodge all the darts, and I used all of my strength to swing and hit the humans. I finished off his men, and then went to attack him. Brett looked a little uneasy as I got closer, so then he pulled out his dart shooter.
I don't want to hurt you, dinosaur, but I will if I have to.
He fired his weapon, and it wasn't sleeping darts. It was a stun blaster. Ouch! Electricity pulsed through me and I fell down, hard.
Just give up. It'll be easier.
Then I blacked out. On days 71 to 74, I woke up, my bones and body aching. Then I remembered, the chest! I looked in the alcove and it wasn't there. Shoot! Brett must have taken it while I was out. I felt awful as I made my way out of the cave and up into the jungle again. It was super slow going to get back home, but eventually I made it. On days 75 to 78, I entered the base. I was so exhausted and just wanted to be alone, but my friends came running up to me.
Zozo, you're okay. We were asleep, and when we woke up, you were gone. Where's Zoe?
I told them all about what happened, and they stood in shock.
We are so sorry, Zozo. Zoe was a really good friend.
I felt awful. I told them I needed to rest, and I went into my house for a little while. It wasn't until I heard screaming and shouting. I hurried to run outside, only to find Brett in the base, trying to shoot my friends again. What are you doing here?
I need your blood, dinosaur. Give it to me.
Ew, gross. No! I roared at Brett, causing him to fly backwards into the wall. I smacked him with my tail and sword, easily defeating him. I then felt a surge of power, and I leveled up into a full-size T-Rex. My roar could demolish anything, and I had tons of hearts.
What did he mean he needed your blood?
I have no idea, but that was definitely creepy. I looked and saw that Brett had dropped some things. I was hoping it was the amulet, but it was just a key card and a painting. The painting had some glyphs of humans shooting a dinosaur with a dart shooter and then growing to be huge. Have you seen anything like this?
No, it just looks like something the old humans must have left. They probably just thought that defeating a dinosaur would grant them power.
I guess Brett thought so too. Probably why he came back to hurt me.
Creepy.
I looked at the key card a little bit more closely. It had the park symbol on it and a label saying Site B. What is Site B?
The park is Site B. Site A is the abandoned site down the hill.
There's two?
Yeah, Site A was abandoned because it was too small. Now it's just storage.
There must be something important in there if Brett has a key card to it.
Must be.
On day 79 to 84, I traveled to Site A to go exploring. I was hoping the key card for Site B would work here too. As I approached the front gate, I took out the key card, put it in the key card scanner, and the gate clicked open. Nice! I followed the path and arrived at the main building that rose through the jungle, high into the sky. I slowly went inside the building and saw lots of boxes and cobwebs. The place looked like a mess. This place has been completely abandoned. I explored the building and saw an interesting roller coaster through the window. It goes straight through a dinosaur skeleton exhibit. What in the world was happening in this place? All of a sudden, I heard a noise from a back room. I approached and looked through the window, only to see an alligator looking through the cabinets. I wonder what she's doing. Then she saw me and charged at the glass. She then opened the door and ran towards me. I quickly backed up and she snapped her teeth at me.
What are you doing here?
I'm looking to see if there was anything that could help me defeat Dr. Harland here. What are you doing here? The alligator looked at me. She paused for a moment and started speaking slowly.
I'm also trying to get to Dr. Harland. He's been running tests on my family in order to make new dinosaurs. I need to rescue him.
We can work together. Have you found anything useful here?
Yeah, there's some sort of weapon downstairs, but it's too heavy for me to carry. Maybe you can carry it.
I started to go down the stairs toward the control room. As I was about to enter, I felt something push me down the stairs. It was the alligator. Hey, what was that for?
You aren't supposed to be here, dinosaur. You've been extinct for years, and now you just expect to rule the whole island? The alligators are the real predators here.
She snapped her teeth at me and almost got me. Hey, I'm just trying to survive here. I'm not trying to hurt anyone. She ignored me and kept snapping her teeth. I backed up and then used my roar to push her back. I hit her a couple more times, and then after only a minute, she was gone. I wonder if there was anything down here or if she was just lying. I looked around the room, and sure enough, it was mostly just trash. Then I noticed a trapdoor. I was too big to go all the way down, but I did notice some diamonds and other materials, but they were out of reach. I looked around, and there were a few more diamonds just laying in the corner of the room. These will definitely come in handy. I grabbed them and headed back to the base. I would definitely need some help scouting out the rest of the secret room. On days 85 to 89, I went back to chat with my friends about what I had found.
Wow, I knew that the alligators on the island were super territorial, but that's just crazy.
What weirdos.
I know, right? But would one of you come with me back to the room? I can't fit down there, but I would like to see if there is anything else of value.
Yeah, sure.
Crew and I headed back to Side A, and he checked out the secret room. He came up in a few minutes, super excited.
There's a tunnel, and it looks like it leads into the Site B park.
This was great news. Now I just needed to figure out a way to fit down there. Crew explored some more and said there was a bigger tunnel opening near the river. That's perfect. I'll go in that way once I'm ready. On days 90 to 94, the monkey gave me the diamonds and I used them to craft myself some better weapons. I didn't really have enough diamonds to make armor that would fit me, so I just made weaker diamond armor with a few chunks missing from the armor pieces. It would be enough to cover my weak spots. I tried it all on, and I actually felt really cool. Not only am I a strong dinosaur with superpowers, I now also have some protection. I knew that I was one step closer to defeating Dr. Harland and freeing all the dinosaurs. On days 95 to 97, I finished the statue. It is in honor of Zoe. As I looked up at the finished statue, I felt a sense of hope and strength. I knew that I would get the amulet and fulfill my destiny. On day 98, I said goodbye to all my friends before heading out. Take care, you guys. I'll be back. I promise. They cheered me on as I left the base and headed out to the park. On the way there, I noticed a plane overhead, and it was dragging a sign in the sky. Subscribe? Hey, that sounds like a good idea. You should do that so you can follow along on some of our other adventures. On day 99, I went to the river where the tunnel opening was. I broke the bars and headed inside toward the park. It was dark for a little while, but then I started to see light. The tunnel led to an enclosure with all kinds of other dinosaurs. I approached the gate and roared to break it open.
Whoa, it's the T-Rex!
They all gathered around me.
Are you gonna free us?
Yes, this tunnel leads to the outside world. I'll go open up all the other enclosures so that we can all be free. The dinosaurs whooped in delight, and then a bunch of darts started flying. The humans came out of nowhere and started shooting at us. Run, you'll be safe. They all started running into the tunnels as I roared at the humans. I trudged through the park, defeating the guards easily. I continued to the other side of the park. On day 100, I was loose in Jurassic Park. There were a bunch of humans running around in panic. I tried not to step on them. I just wanted to find Dr. Harland. Then, out of nowhere, came a bunch of humans with weapons. They shot, but I dodged and roared and swung my tail at them, sending them flying in different directions. They quickly ran away, and I continued through the park to the big building in the center. I smashed through the doors, and sitting on a pedestal was the amulet of Ignatius. I went to grab it, but I felt a dart hit me. I flipped around and saw Dr. Harland with a large shooter.
Come quietly, and I won't hurt you.
No! I grabbed the amulet and felt a huge surge of power. I turned into a giant T-Rex with massive teeth and a mighty tail.
So be it.
Dr. Harland backed up into the lab and closed the door. I heard some whirring, and then he appeared in a large robotic suit.
I didn't want to hurt you, but you have ruined my park. You are a liability now.
He shot at me with some tough shooters, but they didn't hurt me as much since I was so powerful. However, he soon started throwing bombs at me, which were not so easy to avoid. We exchanged blows, and I almost thought that Dr. Harland was about to end me. Ah, that hurt! Ha! I dodged that one. You will not take me down that easily. Take that!
Ah, you dirty lizard! That hurts!
But I was also doing some damage. I could tell some of my roars were hurting his mech because sparks started flying. Finally, his mech started smoking. Now I was doing some real damage. Then I used my sonic roar and sent Dr. Harland flying. The suit crumbled into pieces, and Dr. Harland was finally defeated. I made my way throughout the rest of the park, releasing all the dinosaurs back into the wild. They all seemed super happy. Once we all reached my base, I saw my friends cheering for me. Life was back to the way it should be.